Scuffed as the day is long.
That's the wrong
Hey,
date.
we're here. We're here
That's not the right
finally.
date.
Finally. Hello, everyone who's joining us. This is the episode 0 of the Shadowbringers podcast. My name is Pilot Flame. You often refer to me as Jaren, like Darren with a J.
Yeah.
Fairly
Yeah.
easy to remember. I have my co-host here and FC leader, Thrifty Shark, the knowledge of all knowledge, with us today.
Unofficial leader.
Unofficial leader. So how you doing today? You doing all right?
Yeah, dude. You know, same as every day.
Same as every day. True.
Just waiting.
So we're gonna go over the reflections of Stormblood. No, I'm just playing with you. Of course, we're going over the Shadowbringers abilities and role actions that were released today. So we'll just kick it straight off. Just initial reactions from what you've seen, Thrifty.
I mean, healers don't do any damage.
Healers don't do damage. All right, well, hopefully they're going to be healing, which is what we see.
Yeah.
It seems to be that's what's happening. They're just going to be healing, and everyone else is going to be doing damage. But you know how it is.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll start off with tanks. We're just going to be going through the Gamerscape stuff here. I just have Dark Knight stuff up at the moment. So we'll just go into the tank role actions. So we'll start with the tank role actions. Everything, from what I can tell, looks pretty straightforward. The only real change that I can honestly see out of all of them is that obviously arm's length being added. So 120 second recast time, 6 second duration. Obviously there's an additional effect of the slow that doesn't really matter too much, but it's for melees, tanks, and ranged as a recast time. And I think all the knockbacks are 2-minute CDs. My first impression of that, it's great for range, but I think we're going to be getting a lot more knockbacks based on its recast timer. I'm pretty sure of that.
Biggest thing from this is the loss of ultimatum.
Yeah, that is another note as well.
You can't double voke,
Can't double voke, yeah.
can't AoE voke.
Well, that's what tank stance is for, right? You just use tank
It
stance.
apparently won't matter, right? So
Yeah, exactly. You just turn on your tank
We'll
stance. You just
see.
get hate of everything. That's how you get trash when it comes down. You just instantly get hate of it. Also,
get
another
hate.
notable change with provoke. Basically, you place yourself atop of the enemy list as well as you gain additional enmity. As well.
Right. I didn't see
It doesn't say the duration on it. Maybe that's just a misread from the tooltip. I don't know if it's going to have a duration or if it's like your next ability or whatever it is.
No, I think it just gives you like a chunk.
Oh, it gives
Like
you a
it's
chunk.
just-
So it basically
like-
goes above.
Like, you know how Shirk just takes some of the enemies from someone else? This would just give you like an extra dump, I guess. I didn't even notice that.
Maybe it's probably
Maybe you
small
don't even
enough.
need Shirk. Maybe Shirk's just the thing of the past.
Maybe. But as far as I can tell, it's probably something like it puts you one above your co-tank, or hopefully your co-tank, I should say, and then gives you like a little piece so that basically they don't use like an enhanced fell cleave of some kind.
Nah, dude. So they don't
And gain it
literally
back.
press, like, they don't literally press like Rampart and take hate off. Dude.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Basically, that's how it.
Rampart plus GCD equals take hate back.
Yeah, exactly. So those are pretty
It's
straight.
like even if they crit their next thing, they're not gonna take it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Ideally, I would assume that's what. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's all you can get from it.
I'm just gonna zoom in on these a little bit here. So this is kind of important for all the tanks. Well, and you need to go over this once.
I've been looking
So-
at that all day. I didn't even see that.
Tank Mastery reduces damage taken by 20%. Furthermore, a bonus of maximum HP is granted based on your Vitality attribute, and the bonus damage dealt is based on your Strength attribute. So they finally got something right, as far as I can tell, and no more melding, because that was also another change that they made as well. Well, more crit.
Well, yeah,
More
maybe.
crit.
It
Maybe
depends.
more crit. We'll have to see on that.
Probably not more melding. Probably less melding still.
Yeah. In terms of the traits, the Black Blood works the same as far as we know. The Dark Side Mastery trait we'll get onto when we look at the actual abilities, but basically it just increases damage for the most part. And the Enhanced Plunge allows you to gain 2 charges of your plunge. So let's get into the actual abilities. So I'm going to need to make this a lot bigger.
Pog chat.
Pog chat.
Salt. just Brian.
So Dark Knight still only has one combo. Yeah.
Now it really has one.
It literally only has one combo. You can only hit 3 buttons in a form of sequence with Dark Knight. So it's still Hard Slash, into Siphon Strike, which still restores MP, into Soul Eater, which now just gives you the restores own HP, without actually being in Grit, regardless. And then it also increases your blood gauge by 20, which, from what I remember before, it only increased it by 10.
It was 10, yeah. Now it's 20.
So pretty straightforward stuff there. Yeah. Grit, like every tank stance, just basically increase your enmity generation.
Just big meaty enmity.
Yeah. Living Dead basically works the same. Unmend is still unchanged. We mentioned that Plunge has 2 charges. We'll just start on this Blackest Night ability here, because this is an interesting one. So the text now, it's still the same recast, as far as I remember, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Its MP is basically the same as all its other abilities, which we can just consider Dark Arts mana costs. Last 7 seconds, which was the same as what I remember before, but it absorbs a 25% max HP shield.
Of the target.
And then grants Dark Arts, which is another part of their new gauge.
Because before it was what, 20% on you.
20% on you, 10% on somebody else.
10% of your health on
them. Yeah. So it's 20% on yourself.
25% of their health or your health.
Yeah. You so if you think, let's say tanks are 100k, right?
Tanks it's above.
Yeah, for tanks it's above for an enemy, which, in theory doesn't really make too much sense if it's going to be used as, utility. It's still a lot. Don't get me wrong, it's still a lot. But still pretty useful. But
if you're at 100k, that's like a 25k shield, right?
That is true. So on yourself, it's good. It's just a slight nerf on other party members. Now, I haven't read all the tooltips like you have. You've been basically looking at them as if they were religious literature, if I want to say it like that. So, give us an explanation of how the new Dark Arts works, because obviously that's something in this tooltip.
Okay, Dark Arts.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, basically, they added these new mana consuming skills that add your dark side. It's a whole new mechanic, right? But then basically, Dark Arts just gives you like a refund kind of thing on those skills, so you can use one for free. So basically, it makes the it's a full refund on Blackest Night, but you can like hold it, so you can overcap your mana this way, basically.
So what it's trying to say is that it's a way to basically
hold stuff.
Yeah, differentiate good players from better players.
Yeah, it's like the only. I think is it the only thing that's like actually like timing based?
I believe so. Yeah, everything else is just like increase this by this, do this.
Button.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically Delirium is like timing based to get the GCDs in, but
yeah, exactly.
Really.
Well, I mean, it's not really timing
not
based.
Really,
it's like,
you get 5. Like if you have,
if
you have any sort of skill speed at all, you'll get 5.
Yeah, it's basically like the same thing with Stormblood Warrior, which was like, I want to make it so that I don't just like go into inner release and have to use Infuriate. You want to obviously get the max amount of seconds you can off of Infuriate during inner release. This will be the same way. You want to basically be at like basically empty blood or empty mana, more or less.
Empty mana. You can
just and then you get your mana back as you hit stuff.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. But basically the two abilities that we referenced before was Flood of Shadow, which is the upgraded version, and Edge of Shadow. I'll just mention those two. One basically does a 300 AOE, 300 potency AOE in front of you, in a straight line in front of you. And then the other one is just 500 potency single target. Both still increase Darkside's duration, which is a damage buff.
It's just, Darkside is literally Mouton, but damage.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's also never going to go away because of how they design it.
Yeah, which is funny because Darkside before never went away unless you were literally clicked it off.
Yeah, I guess it kept its here forever thing, but it's a little...
Exactly.
Strange how they did it.
Yeah, it's just a bit strange. Shadow Wall is still the same. Carve and Spit now just gives you the mana. Just gives it to you.
Also does no damage, like at all.
Wasn't it? It was 300 before, wasn't it? The potency.
It was the Dark Arts was like 450 or something.
Oh, 450. Oh, so it literally doesn't do as much damage.
Let me double check, but it's definitely like a lot lower.
Yeah, it's a lot lower.
Maybe it was 300. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know Dark Mind. Dark Mind's 450 from what we're getting at.
So yeah, it was 100 and buffed to 450 with Dark Arts, but now it's just 200, and it gives you mana.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's basically they doubled the potency and just removed like its usability as a damage cooldown.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible.
And then we got Dark Mind, which is just basically the not Dark Arts version of it.
It might restore like a boatload of MP. We have
maybe, yeah. We don't know how much MP it's going to restore as well. So it may work out to end up being more damage, just
because it restores like a boatload of MP. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, exactly. And then we got their level 76 ability, Dark Missionary, which is basically AoE 15% damage reduction on the party for 15 seconds for exclusively magic damage. So pretty good ability. Unfortunately, I would like to see this at a higher percentage for Gunbreakers 1, which we'll get onto later. But basically, Gunbreakers 1 is identical, except it does all damage, not just magic.
Eos died for this.
Eos did die for this, unfortunately. And Delirium, I was speculating this previously when I saw the leak, and I thought, well, maybe it consumes the buff. It doesn't consume the buff. It's literally just in a release for Dark Knight, and instead of direct critting, you just get mana back instead.
Which, I mean, it might be better, because if you just direct crit anyways, you're going to get mana, and then you can use more of these stupid off GCDs.
Exactly. I'm just trying to think of a scenario where you do this massive pull in a dungeon. Yeah.
You can Quietus spam.
Yeah, you just Quietus spam for free.
Well, Quietus doesn't have mana.
Does it not have it doesn't give you mana back?
Get mana anymore. No. You don't gain mana from Quietus anymore.
No,
but
it just does.
You'll still spam it.
Yeah.
It's still better than. It's still 180 or whatever because they nerfed it.
It's 180.
It was 240.
I mean, still, you basically get 250 blood gauge for free.
Yeah.
Well, depending on how much speed you have, but
it's still gonna give you a boatload of mana.
It will, yeah. And then you can use that to use
because it says landing
the
weapon
AoE
skill, so I'm assuming it's a per target thing, even though the other one wasn't a per target thing, right? Abyssal Drain,
very
just like a heal.
Yeah, Abyssal Drain's now just an off GCD that you just use now.
Oh no,
it gives you a heal.
Blood Weapon. It was Blood Weapon that was. It only procs on attack instead of on hit. Yeah, whereas like Quietus with Delirium will probably still apply on hit, so you'll get like a boatload of mana.
Yeah, pretty much. Speaking of Abyssal Drain, it's now just a 60-second off GCD, deals 200 damage with no fall off, does AoE. Still obviously worth to use it on single target because why not? And it gives you a little small 200 potency cure. It's just free, basically.
It's just free damage.
Yeah, it's just free damage. In terms of AoE combos now, Unleash now has a combo action that you receive at level 72, Stalwart Soul. Deals 100 damage to all nearby enemies, but the combo is 160, so you're basically increasing your potency from just spamming Unleash by 10 per enemy, which isn't much, but it restores MP. Yeah. It increases blood gauge by 20 as well, which is
big thing here
obviously
is Dark Knight AoE is free now.
Yeah.
And you gain MP and gauge per dude.
Yeah. So it's free.
It's like nuts.
But you get to use it on this thing, this Flood of Shadow ability that just is going to kill everything.
You ran out of MP, you're just like, well, how do I pull this next pack? Just bone. Yeah. Now it's like, well, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It still spells though, it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah. Then moving on to Blood Weapon. Blood Weapon's slightly different. Now it's based on weapon skills or spells. You gain 10 blood gauge and restores MP. The effect does not stack when hitting multiple targets with a single attack. So it's basically every GCD every spell counts as
Per
1. It's not like if I hit 10 things, I get 10 times
it's
10
per
blood
attack,
gauge.
it's not on hit.
Yeah, exactly. Blood Spiller, from what I can tell, is basically just its Dark Arts potency.
Yep.
And then lastly, Living Shadow. So Living Shadow is Dark Knight's level 80 ability. Duration is 24 seconds. Costs 50 blood gauge to use. And it's not very descriptive at all. It doesn't actually tell you what it does. So how about you tell us what it does? Because as far as I can tell, you basically rip out some of your soul and you become edgy. That's all I can tell from this tool.
Yeah, so basically you just kind of summon like the guy from the 50 quest?
Frey.
Yeah. And he does a set rotation for over 24 seconds. That's it.
Yeah. And he does a percentage basically.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does a percentage of his
It's
of his damage.
He uses all your off GCDs and also Blood Spiller.
Yeah, I believe his exact rotation is Abyssal Drain,
blood moves, Abyssal Drain,
and
your
plunge.
Dark Side moves, and
plunge.
Plunge and Carbon Spit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that he does, and I'm pretty
He
sure
just
he
spams
does the
both.
exact same rotation as well.
Yeah, it's like Abyssal Drain into Plunge into whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, I think we've covered Dark Knight pretty much there. Overall, the kit looks obviously great. I think they did a good job with it. I think it's going to be very strong. It's definitely going to do an absolute metric shit ton of damage, basically.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna do pretty decent damage. I kind of wish the shadow thing was different, but
yeah, the shadow thing would have been cool if it was
start.
like it copied like your 6.
It's a start,
yeah. I mean, who knows? On release, it could be, hey, look, it copies your next.
I mean, exactly. We don't. I mean, I doubt it.
Yeah, they may have had it as just a
They could
placeholder.
change it. They could. They've always. They can change things. Always.
Yeah, they could always change it.
Long run.
Yeah. Moving on to
the idea is good, but
Gunbreaker. We got obviously same tank mastery, cartridge charge. Basically, you can store these charges in order to do a different combo. A brutal shell trait, which basically allows for a shield, and then another upgraded ability at level 80. But those will be more apparent.
that's
when
the
we
ultimate ability. Yeah.
That's the one that in the trailer that they used last, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
All right. So as a person who really wants to play Gunbreaker, because when I saw it first in the job action trailer, I kind of blanked out after, and only really paid attention to that. So, give us a overview of basically what its 2 basic combos are here. So I have the first one highlighted
so
here.
it has the like standard, 1, 2, 3, but it also heals you and gives you a shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it adds the cartridge at the third part. And then the second combo starts by using a cartridge, and it just does like 10 million damage.
Yeah.
It's insane. But it has this continuation thing. If you look, you see continuation, and basically all of 3 of the the cartridge combo, they all give a ready to rip, ready to tear, ready to gouge, and that just lets you proc this off GCD continuation that just does like bonus damage for each one.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a whole bunch of new animations for each.
So basically, you use Gnashing Fang, which costs a cartridge.
Yep.
Then you use Savage Claw. Then you use Wicked Talon. But in between, you use these ready to blank moves.
You press continuation, and it will use Jugular Rip, then Abdomen Tear, then get Eye Gouge, like in that order. Because this is like one skill that just uses all 3.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a one button. Yeah.
So continuation is your button you'll put on your hotbar, and then these 3 is what will come up here. The Jugular Rip, Abdomen Tear, and Eye Gouge. Okay.
Exactly.
And then there's an ability at the very end, I believe. Where's the like super big hitting? Is that Danger Zone?
Oh, it's at the it's OGCD at the bottom. In the middle.
Okay.
Blasting Zone.
Yeah,
It's
Blasting
just, like,
Zone.
Big damage. So like literally Danger Zone just upgrades to Blasting Zone at 80. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally just doubles its potency at level 80. It's like,
Okay.
okay, sure.
So
Why
basic.
not?
So I guess your full rotation is do your solid, what is it, solid barrel combo first. Then
Yeah.
then
Solid barrel.
then do your wicked
And,
wicked talon
Wicked
combo
Talon
with all the
stuff,
different ready to
with
tear, ready to rip,
continuations. Yeah.
and all that stuff. While using
That'll be like your burst part.
while using blasting zone,
Yeah.
while using a burst strike. Because
While using No Mercy, which is just fight or flight.
yeah,
And all that stuff, right?
yeah, because you basically want to use one burst strike because that costs a cartridge, and then you want to
Yeah.
use
Well, let's see.
because burst strike costs one
You have
cartridge,
to get
right?
Well, you can use the was it Bloodfest as well, right?
Is Bloodfest just an AoE cartridge spender?
Well, it just gives you two. It's just a 90-second cooldown. It just gives you 2 cartridges.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah. So like you'd use the first cartridge that you earned from Solid Barrel, and then you'd probably like as soon as you Gnashing Fang, you probably instantly Bloodfest. Like.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then
Well,
the other ability
that's
that costs a cartridge that does deal damage is just Faded Circle, which is 360 potency to all our enemies cost a cartridge.
That's the AoE one.
Yeah. So basically, what you have to figure out is how expensive, as it were, is it to use a cartridge during your combo.
Yeah.
During your jugular rip, abdomen tear, eye gouge, like off GCD weaving combo type thing. Because you have to use one indefinitely to use Gnashing Fang. And then you have to say, okay, do I want to save it? So I still have 2 going into my next Gnashing Fang, Savage Claw, Wicked Talon combo. Or do I want to dump it on something else? In burst windows, you'll definitely dump it.
In burst,
burst, you'll use both, surely.
I don't know. So maybe you'll like use one burst strike, because like if you think about it, by the time the next burst window comes up, you'll probably have burnt through more cartridges already, right? Or you'll be getting close to overcapping cartridges. So maybe you want to like, I don't know. Maybe you want to do like Solid Barrel, Wicked Talon with one burst strike and blasting zone and all that stuff in the actual burst window, and then maybe you do another Wicked Talon. I don't know. It depends on if you need, because you'll still have a cartridge if you use Bloodfest, right?
Yeah.
If you're only using one burst strike.
I believe so, yeah. Because from what I can tell, because Bloodfest
Bloodfest
gives you 2 cartridges. So basically every third trick window. So every odd trick window, you would get
You
a
have like
Bloodfest. Yeah, you have bigger bursts. So I would assume in the even trick windows, you would just use it anyway because you're just gonna spam it regardless. So I think you're basically.
I don't know. It depends.
I mean, on paper, it seems like it would make sense to just use one on the Fang combo, right, and then one on the burst strike, if that makes sense.
Because the average potency of the 3 GCDs of Solid Barrel is 300. So it's 200, 300, 400, right?
Yeah.
And then the Wicked Talon is 400, 500, 650. So what's the difference? Hold on. What's like the total? It's like what? 10, 15, 1550 versus what? 2, 5, 900?
Yeah, burst strike's 4.
That's more than a burst strike
is 4.
right?
Yeah.
So like, unless the amount of buffs up get you enough damage so that the 450 in the burst window is more than like the rest of the gain from the Wicked Talon combo, you just want to do another Wicked Talon, right?
You would just do another Wicked Talon.
Yeah, because if it would have to be a lot of.
Yeah. But we're also thinking in a 10-second window as well, right?
Yeah.
So if we're thinking 4 GCDs, ideally it would be you would want it to do you would want to get what 4, or you want to get
if you're getting 4 GCDs in, it's gonna be your Wicked Talon combo plus like Sonic Break, right? You want the dot in the burst window, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're looking for. So basically,
Yeah.
you might as well use the cartridge then in that case on Burst Strike
Yeah.
because you're not going to get that 5th GCD in there.
You're gonna use at least one cartridge on burst strike in a burst window.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Because
just
the other,
like,
the other cartridge
the
on
second
a
one is the one for debate,
Yeah.
right?
the other cartridge in a non-Bloodfest window it has to be used for Gnashing Fang. It has to, because that's its requirement.
Yeah.
Gnashing Fang's the start of the Savage Claw Wicked Talon combo. So you
yeah,
have to, so
yeah.
one cartridge is used indefinite. It's always used going into that combo. So
it's
yeah,
only the Bloodfest ones that have like you have like a third cartridge basically, right?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
even a fourth if you're on the later ones. Like the first one you have 3 probably, but the later ones you'll have like 4.
Yeah.
Because you could probably build up 2 and then hold 2.
All right, I think we've touched on that. What we got? Rough Divide. We got. It's basically the same thing as Paladin's Charge, basically. The 2 dots. So we have an instant dot that's 60-second recast, or it's does AOE as well,
like,
apparently. Is it Circle of Scorn?
Super Circle of Scorn.
Yeah, it looks like it's Super Circle of Scorn. That's what I'm looking at.
Burst Circle of Scorn.
Okay, and then we got another one that's just a single target dot that's on half.
Yeah.
So basically every trick you want both of these in there too.
The Sonic Break is a weapon skill, but it's like old Imperial Arrow when it was like its own separate thing, where it had a cooldown. Does Imperial Arrow Imperial Arrow's an ability now, but when it wasn't an ability in like Heavensward.
Yeah, when you could use it in Bage,
you actually had to like cast it or whatever.
Mode.
Yeah, it's like that.
Bow Mage. Bow
Mage,
yeah.
It's like a Bow Mage skill.
Had the first letters mixed up there. So yeah, basically you wanna get your full combo basically, and Sonic Break, because you're only getting 3 GCDs plus Sonic Break in any 10-second window anyway.
Yeah,
so that's basically what we're looking at there.
I mean, you can get one more, I think. Like, no, that's
potentially, yeah. It all depends on speed.
More, but like,
which
no other.
Which maybe it's one of those things where you just want crit and skill speed.
A weapon skill? Oh, Burst Strike's a weapon skill. Oh well, yeah. There's your 5th one right there. It's not even up.
Oh, Burst Strike is a weapon skill.
Oh, well then there you go. That's their whole combo.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Well, that makes it easy.
All right. So then we're going to utility here. Aurora we saw used. Basically, it's just a regen. Royal Guard is just the Gunbreaker's version of Grit.
Actually, I think this is exactly regen now because they made regen.
Yeah, I think it's it's literally
seconds.
exactly regen.
It's like exactly.
We got No Mercy, which is just basically fight or flight, more or less. Is fight or flight 20% damage increase?
We'll find out when we go there next.
That's true.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Camouflage increases parry rate by 50% while reducing damage by 10%. This is
Dark Dance, but good.
Yeah, exactly. Dark Dance, but good. Heart of Stone. This is their like kind of ability where they can use it to help their co-tank, I guess. So it reduces damage taken by a party member or self by 15%. So you can use it as a personal cooldown.
Yeah.
For free. When targeting a party member while under the effect of Brutal Shell, so basically when you're off tanking and you just have the shield up constantly, you just use this.
Yeah, you just
shield and defense. It's a cooldown in itself.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's really good. We got Heart of Light, which is basically like we said, Dark Missionary, but
it's
better.
Dark Missionary, but it's everything.
Yeah, Nebula is just Sentinel and Shadow Wall, and then Bloodfest is the cage. I'm gonna.
It's literally the same range.
I'm gonna go to this ability here, which is Super Bolide, which is their invuln. So same recast as Hologround. 2 seconds less than Hologround, but it drops you to 1 HP.
Mm-hmm.
So are we thinking that this is their weakness? This is like they're not as good in this area here type of thing?
Yeah.
Because you can still be healed during it too.
It's still really good, even though it reduces you to 1 health, even though it's 7-minute cooldown. It's you're still impervious to the attacks. Like, sure, they have to heal you, but like, Dark Knight's one is they have to like super heal you, and they also take damage the whole time, and also it's like only like 2 minutes less.
Yeah.
So you still can't use it like twice, really.
Yeah.
It's just awkward. Well, you can use it maybe twice, right? Just same as this.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah.
I think it is definitely the worst out of the three. Because
4.
Dark Knights, obviously, you can just wait it out the 10 seconds. It's effectively hollowed, but you just need Benny on top of it.
4, by the way.
What's 4 seconds?
There's 4 tanks.
Oh, 4 tanks. It's the worst. Oh, right. This is a
3.
tank, not a DPS, right?
This is a tank, friend. Yeah, it's not a DJ. I know it may look like it has like big 700 potency attack and like
Just
650 GCD attack.
It just does nuts damage, but
Don't worry about it. That's like the standard now.
just the standard, yeah. So I think we touched on that enough. It seems like it's going to be doing. If I had to guess,
it's always the same.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think this one, Gunbreaker could be doing as much damage as Warrior. Now, I know that sounds far-fetched, and we'll get into that base when you see some of the numbers, but obviously potency can be calculated differently, but I feel that Double Dot has always been super strong. Always been super strong.
Sonic Break itself is actually pretty weak, but I think Bowshock's nice.
But they're just free, though. They're just...
Yeah,
you just
well,
use
no,
them.
one of them is a GCD, right? You gotta think about that.
Yeah.
Remember Fracture, friend? That's all I'm saying.
Hey, Fracture was okay.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, moving on to
But yeah,
Paladin.
they have fighter flight.
Yeah,
probably
basically they have fighter flight. So Oath Mastery increases Oath Gauge by 5 each time an auto attack lands. Okay, so that's basically just old Sword Oath. Enhanced Prominence, you restore MP. That's the second part of the AoE combo that we'll see in a bit here. Restores MP for Riot Blade and Spirits Within. Okay, Spirits Within now gives you MP apparently. Rage Alone basically is now gets upgraded to Royal Authority. We'll see that in a bit. The halves MP cost when preventing interruptions. Okay.
Yep.
Level 74. I think this is probably the most underrated trait out of all of them. Enhanced Sheltron effect no longer expires after blocking a single attack, so you just get 6 seconds of block.
So like, they took out Bulwark because you no longer need Bulwark. You just have Sheltron, and you're just blocking. You 100% block instead of having some stupid RNG thing.
Yeah, exactly. Bulwark died for this, and we're happy for it.
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah. Sword Oath grants 3 stacks of Sword Oath after successfully completing a combo with Royal Authority. We'll see that in a bit.
Yeah.
And then Enhanced Requiescat makes it so that you don't need to cast stuff under Requiescat.
Rescue Cat, Pog.
It's pretty good.
Rescue
So
Cat,
now
Pog.
we got the combos. So basically you got Fast Blade into Riot Blade into your Going Blade Dot or into Royal Authority, which grants you the stacks of Sword Oath. Which is pretty self-explanatory there. No, see, Fight or Flight lasts 5 seconds longer, and it's 25% damage.
It's physical damage.
But it's only physical damage, that is correct.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Sheltron is still the same. Intervention is still the same. Iron Will is...
Well, Sheltron's got the buff, but yeah.
Yeah, it's got the buff with the trait, but yeah. Iron Will is basically just like every other tank stance. Sentinel is now the same as everybody else, which is quite huge because you don't have to rely on a 3-minute. Basically everyone's just like, why don't you just make it 2 minutes with 30%? Like, 30%, just why not? Veil is still the same. Shield Bash still exists, which I'm
Shield Bash exists specifically for like probably for soloing stuff.
Yeah, basically soloing stuff.
I have no idea.
Cover, from the looks of it, is the same. Atonement.
Cover,
so this is
Cover has an Oath Gauge cost.
Oh, it has an Oath Gauge. I did not see that. That's a good pickup. It has an Oath Gauge cost.
That is the nerf. Everything else is the same.
So they gave Oath Gauge a reason to exist, basically.
Also, well, I guess you still have the trait where you. Is the Cover trait still in?
I believe the cover trait is actually been removed or changed, and now cover basically blocks all damage instead of 80%. Or it basically you take the brunt of all of it.
Yeah, I don't see a cover trait in this trait thing, so I think you just take.
Instead of taking 20% reduced damage, you take all of it.
You just take the full damage like it used to be, and it's also got a gauge cost.
Yeah, so cover is obviously significantly worse. They probably watched.
That's bad.
Yeah, that.
But I guess you could just use Sheltron, so.
Yeah,
maybe that's.
But that means you need to have full gauge.
Yes, if you want to use both.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yep, and then Atonement we got. It's basically a instant cast. It's a GCD. Delivers an attack of potency of 550. That seems pretty good to me. Restores MP. Definitely pretty good to me. While under the effect of Sort of. So basically, from what I can gather, your combo now is Fast Blade, Riot Blade, Goring Blade. Fast Blade, Riot Blade, Royal Authority. Spam this 3 times when you don't have Requiescat on. That's what it seems like to me.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. And that's the most basic math anyone can ever do. It's pretty straightforward.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Shield Lob's still the same. Hollow's still the same. Passions of Arms is still the same. For some reason, it says duration is 18 seconds.
It was always 18 seconds.
I thought it was 20, but I could be wrong. Paladin made, by the way.
I thought it was 18. It's on here somewhere.
Yeah.
I can look at cover at the same time.
AoE, so Circle of Scorn is now 25 seconds.
Cover is definitely nerfed.
Is Circle of Scorn the same? I can't even remember.
Paladin made, by the way.
Paladin made, by the way, yeah.
Let's see. Passage of Arms, 18 seconds. No, it's exactly the same.
No, it's exactly the same.
Exactly the same text, I think.
I want to say Circle of Scorn is the same. That's what it looks like. Maybe the potency numbers are slightly different. I could be wrong there.
Or God, it's called the stupid thought action.
Yeah. In terms of AoE, Prominence is obviously super good, giving them MP back, which is obviously quite nice. And Total Eclipse was moved to level 6, so now you can just turn on your tank stance.
Scorn does more damage.
It does more damage. Okay.
It is 20 potency initial hit increase and a 5 potency dot increase, and they removed the enmity from it.
They removed the enmity from it. Okay, so you can't just use it to get hate. You have to actually hit stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Total Eclipse.
Rest in peace, the classic Flash, Scorn, Flash. You now have hate.
Yeah, it's gone. It's dead.
Both Flash and Scorn no longer. Flash doesn't exist, and Scorn doesn't have enmity.
Yeah, it's dead, Jim. Total Eclipse, like all the other AoEs for the tanks, is now super early on, so that you can actually just turn on your tank stance and do damage instead. So they basically gave us Flash, but they put it in the Total Eclipse, which is cool.
They made it do damage.
You just do damage now. Off GCDs. So again, the Paladin, exact same thing. It's just got a different animation, different name for the charge. Requiescat does more damage up front. It's also its potency that it increases is up by 30% from what I remember reading on the tooltip.
Up to 50 now.
It's 50% now. It used to be 20 or 30.
Let me double check.
And then Spirits Within obviously gets the trait where it restores MP.
Requiescat. Currently increases attack and healing magic potency by 20%.
Now it's 50%.
Now it's 50%.
And its on hit does more as well when you first use it.
And it's 200 more potency.
Yeah, which makes up for, I believe it was 50 more than the potency nerfs on Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit was 380.
Holy Spirit was 380. Let me double check.
As far as I know.
Remember, dude. They changed it a whole bunch.
Yeah, but even still, 4 Holy Spirits is...
that is not the correct Holy Spirit. Okay.
4 times 30 is 120, and then you make up for it with an additional 200 or so. And then you just replace your last Holy Spirit with a level Paladin's 80 ability, which is just... It's a tactics move, it's Garanol, it's whatever you want to call it. It's a bunch of different things here. So basically, you want to use this at the end of your Requiescat window because it basically removes the buff after the fact.
Configure,
Does 800 potency to all enemies.
AoE.
AoE.
It's just Gurren.
Yeah, it's literally just Gurren. Yeah. But it gets amped.
But
because
it's range. You could just chuck it at them.
yeah, exactly.
25
range. You could just be sitting there hitting one mob while you're tanking, and then you just boom from the other side of the room.
Yeah.
Also, to combat that, they have Holy Circle, which is basically an AoE version of Holy Spirit.
It's just better Holy.
Yeah. Also, these are all instant casts, by the way, because you have that one cool trait. So I think Paladin's pretty
Holy's
good.
terrible, yet Holy Circle is broken.
Yeah, Holy Circle's broken, but Holy from White Mage is crap.
It was bad, man.
Alright, last but not least, let's move on to Warrior. So, Warrior, got a bunch of different traits. So, the Beast Within is something that's just got a different icon, and the name was changed. Basically, you just get the Beast Gauge.
Yeah, at 35.
Yeah, Berserk Mastery, that was the same as before. Inner Beast Mastery, so Inner Beast becomes Ffxiv.
Inner Beast.
At level 60, Steel Cyclone becomes Decimate.
Rip Steel Cyclone.
Yeah. Infuriate still does the same. It's the same trait as it is at 66.
Don't know why it says Inner Beast and Ffxiv and Steel Cyclone when they don't exist at that level, but
Yeah, exactly.
We
We won't worry about that. Maybe you can glitch it and it just happens to work that way. You
I
can
feel like they forgot to remove those
Probably.
words.
Then you get level at 72. You get trait Nascent Chaos. Basically, Infuriate grants the effect of this trait, upgrading Ffxiv to Inner Chaos and Decimate to Chaotic Cyclone. The duration is 30 seconds, and this buff gets consumed after you use the ability. So you can basically only use Inner Chaos or Chaotic Cyclone twice, or once each, or two of one or two of the other. And then Enhanced Thrill of Battle, basically you get Convalescence on Thrill of Battle now, which is pretty good because people just compared those together anyway. So let's go into the combo. So Warrior, same combos as before. Heavy Swing, Maim, Storm's Ire, Path. I just gives you 10% increased damage, which is basically just making up for the slashing you did before. Maim doesn't give you anything from
Heals you
before.
a little bit. It's a cure potency now, right?
Storm's Path is a cure potency. Yeah,
Path, right?
it was like restore a portion of your damage.
Maim just does 300 damage, dude.
Yeah, Maim just does 300 damage. So basically, Storm's Path is a slightly higher potency, and I basically makes up for your slashing that was lost.
Yeah.
Berserk nobody cares about because it's not a real ability.
Yeah. Sure.
Vengeance was nerfed by 5 seconds, but otherwise than that, still pretty much does the same thing.
Still the strongest one.
Yeah, still the strongest one.
It
All of
does
them are the same except
damage.
it gives you Reflect.
For some reason.
Which
it
direct
still
crits, by the
does
way.
damage.
Direct crits and inner release.
Yeah. Okay.
Shake It Off now basically it's the same thing except there's no inner release, not inner release, inner beast.
No
in it.
Inner Beast.
Defiance, same as the other tank stances. Home Gang, still broken as ever. Inner Release is effectively the same as well. Tomahawk is the same. Raw Intuition was changed and will accompany it with a new ability, Nascent Flash. So they basically share the same recast timer. 25 seconds. Both off GCD. Raw Intuition reduces it's Rampart. Lasts 5 seconds. Cool. Very good, obviously. And then you have Nascent Flash, which gives two buffs. So one to the main tank, one to the off tank. So on the main tank, you get Bloodbath, basically. Pretty good. For the off tank, or whoever you give the buff to, they restore HP equaling to 50% of the damage that you do, while also reduces damage taken by 10%. That's pretty good too. Now I think the duration's wrong because there's no way it's 30 seconds and the recast is 25.
Yeah. So there's that. First of all, there's that, and then there's It just says restores HP, right? So we don't actually know any numbers from this. It's just like
No, it says
you
in the
restore
tooltip it says restores HP equaling 50% recovered by Nascent
but-
Flash.
yeah, but how much do you get from Nascent Flash? you don't know.
It just says restores HP each time a single physical attack
Yeah,
lands.
you don't know what the number is.
So you don't know.
So it all depends on how strong the flash itself is what determines. Like, obviously, this is like dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, from what I can tell, you're gonna spam this on cooldown.
Really dumb.
You're gonna spam Nascent Flash on cooldown, unless you're taking a buster, in which case you kind of want raw intuition. Unless you're just gonna rotate Home Gang and Vengeance, and it doesn't matter anyway.
And then you just flash so you heal anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Which is really nuts. Thriller Battle. Its cooldown was reduced by 30 seconds. So that's a buff. And then the duration is only 10 seconds, rather than 20 seconds. So that's a nerf there. But it also gets the trait that you get the increased healing. So
it says via healing actions.
Yes, which means that
not healing magics like it usually says.
It's healing actions. So that means you can be hit with all GCs.
Probably this Nascent Flash thing and Equilibrium.
Yeah, Equilibrium's just basically the Defiance version of what it was before. You just heal.
There's no TP, so yeah.
Yeah, you just heal. Also, one thing to also note that the tanks don't use any abilities that require mana, so nothing really much there.
Dark Knight does.
Oh, except Dark Knight, sorry, and Paladin.
And Paladin does.
Yeah,
but it's only half of them.
It's only hit. Yeah, they ended up using like half their gauge or whatever, but they regenerate back so quickly that.
Come on, bruh.
You could have gave them, TP costs, and it probably would have made more sense. Yeah. But we got
Whatever.
So Overpower has a combo Mithril Tempest, and it extends Storm's Eye duration, which is. I think this Mithril Tempest is basically the same thing as kind of like the Monk's one, where it extends Twin Snakes as well. We'll get onto that later as well, which is obviously super good. And this set, level 40, Overpower is at level 10, not level 6 like the other ones. But it doesn't really matter because you don't get into the next dungeon. Or the first dungeon until, what, 14, 15? I don't even know.
For what?
It's my coworker. I'm just memeing him.
Yeah, I'm like, what? wait, what was it? The dungeon? What dungeon?
Yeah, when's the Stasha? 14? 15?
15.
15, okay. So yeah, you have your tank stance, you have your AoE.
15.
Yeah. So, nothing really too crazy there. Inner Beast, obviously, it's just a poor man's Fell Cleave. Onslaught is now the worst gap closer out of all the tanks, because it costs 40 beast gauge to use it twice. And it has a cooldown of 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Upheaval. It has a cost.
Yeah. Upheaval.
The other ones have a benefit.
Exactly. And you can store them and you can just go dash dash.
And, yeah. But the big thing here, right?
But it direct crits, though. You can make it direct crit.
I mean, sure. Yeah, Upheaval is just a big hit.
Yeah, it's just a big hit that costs the same amount of gauge. Yeah, so
no
more
HP thing.
Yeah, no more meme heaval.
Big hit.
No more meme
it's
heaval.
Just big. Infuriate has 2 charges.
Yes.
Not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know why. Makes
don't know
no
why.
sense.
It's still a minute cooldown, but it has 2 charges. Sure. Makes it easier, I guess.
Yeah. But
same, and then
yeah, typically you want to have Infuriate. Basically, you don't want to cap out on charges while you're in your inner release, because with the 2 new nascent chaos abilities, Chaotic Cyclone and Inner Release, which I'll put up on the screen now here.
Inner Chaos.
And Inner Chaos. They critically direct hit every time anyway. So you don't want to waste the Infuriate buff.
Big meaty hits.
In Inner Release, because Infuriate gives you critically direct hit. Yeah, it's a lot. I want to say.
Type of one. Chaotic Cyclone. Nearby enemy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And then obviously Fell Cleave and Decimate are obviously in their original.
These are just basically super Decimate and super Fell Cleave, right?
Yeah, super Decimate, super Fell Cleave, and basically can only be accessed by the Infuriate buff. So effectively, when you have 2 charges of Infuriate, you effectively have 2 Chaotic Cyclones or 2 Inner Chaos.
2 Inner Chaos.
Correct. Yeah. So overall, what are we thinking with the tanks? We're thinking all look pretty strong in their own right. All have their pros. All definitely have their cons in some way. So I think every one of them has their own like weakness, as an example.
The con of warrior is a question mark.
You comment on war.
But
So,
everything else, it's like, yeah, they're all about the same.
yeah, I think pretty much from what I can tell, all the tanks are gonna do fairly similar-ish damage, and then it just depends on potency tuning and that sort of stuff to see where they rank.
Warrior should be the most consistent damage, just because it has inner release and inner chaos.
Yeah.
So it just has guaranteed crit direct hits. So like that just smooths out its damage a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as you're hitting the buttons. But yeah, there's definitely potential in the other ones. Like Dark Knight has that stupid.
I think this is just going out there. I think that overall the tanks, especially with the biggest pool of roll action abilities as well, they're going to be the most balanced job out of all of them. I think that we have a little more worries.
Because that was supposed to be the healers expansion.
Supposed to be, yeah. And we're getting onto the healers right now because I think they might be in the biggest trouble, but that's obviously up for debate as well. So let's look at the roll actions.
It depends on content.
Yeah, it very much depends on content.
It really depends on content.
Because if we have these kits going into an expansion that has the same type of battles, same type of instances that we have now,
it's gonna be a joke.
Healers are gonna suck.
Nothing's gonna do. People are gonna be AFK.
Yeah, people are gonna just be just not enough damage abilities in the world. They just can't even themselves. They can't even make things even worse. But let's go on to the role actions. So we have Repose, which was a white mage ability. So this is obviously just when you're out in the open world, so that you don't get mobbed by a bunch of sheep.
Just sleep. You can just it's only one target. But
yeah, so you could sleep one and then hit another.
You can just walk past it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's good for soloing stuff and getting past things.
Asuna,
or like
pretty much the same.
I don't know.
Swift Cast looks to be the same. Lucid Dreaming, pretty much the same. It still reduces your enmity by half.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Which is 1 minute. Used to be, what was it, 90 seconds? I think it was.
I think it was 2, wasn't it?
Was it 2 minutes? Oh no, you might be right. I believe the refresh is still the same duration.
Yes.
This is also a caster ability as well as Swift Cast. Sure Cast, basically the same thing as.
Good.
Yeah, it's. I think at 1 minute it would have been good.
4 times the cooldown.
Yeah. At 1 minute it would have probably been good. At 30 seconds, obviously it's nuts. At 2 minutes it's going to be crap. But I expect a lot of.
Have to actually.
Sacrifice
maybe
something.
They're not putting knockbacks in the fight, so I don't know. Maybe this is the signal.
Yeah, or maybe they're gonna put so many knockbacks that you have to sacrifice which one's like.
You have to pick which one.
Yeah, you're like, which one is gonna screw me over, and which one is going to not. And then lastly, you could still troll people with rescue.
Yeah, rescue is the thing.
So the first thing that we got going on here is Astro. So I'm just going to take a look at their traits here really quickly. Most of it looks pretty straightforward, pretty much the same. Obviously upgrades to Combust 2, Malefic 4, and all that stuff. And then Essential Dignity allows for charges, basically.
Yep.
And then now here comes basically the biggest change. Their cards. So, we have Draw. Draw seems, it's still the same. But we got this charge system on Redraw now. It's got 3 charges.
Well,
surely RNG can't screw you over 4 total draws.
The difference with Draw is now Draw isn't the play thing. There is actually a play action as well. So as soon as you draw, it's on cooldown and it's ticking. And it's ticking, so you can basically get more cards without just sitting there and just looking. Just chucking it out instantly. You can't. Now you can just actually look at. You can take your time. Yeah, exactly. You can sit there and ponder. If you're doing mechanics, you can still draw, and it's fine. Yeah, you could just Yu-Gi-Oh it up and just sit there and just take the full minute for your turn, just looking at the card. They made them so much easier to understand. Yeah, exactly. It's so simple now. It's a big dumbhead can do it. Yeah, exactly.
Sleeve Draw resets the recast timer of draw and grants 2 stacks of Sleeve Draw, duration 30 seconds. Reduces the cast timer of draw to 3 seconds, so basically you can just quick draw 3 times, basically.
Yep.
So it's basically as if you took redraw and just gave it 3 charges instantly. That's basically what it does. For the most part. Minor Arcana. So the Lord and the Lady of Crowns are still they're much like the other cards, but they're slightly stronger. So Lord of Crowns is 8% damage increase on melee DPS. I assume this includes tanks as well, if I had to guess.
No.
So
melee
it's
DPS.
only DPS.
Melee DPS.
So it's melee DPS. And then 4% on any other class type. And then 8% for Lady of Crowns on range DPS. I hope this includes casters and they didn't code it incorrectly. It's just
hope so too. Maybe they're like casters are too strong.
Yeah, that would be very
like,
interesting.
they don't need the help, so they just get boned. But
yeah, so Samurai gets a card, but Black Mage doesn't. That's real fair.
Yes, correct. That seems fair. Seems fair to me.
And you just basically apply it on them. And basically Minor Arcana, so it forces your hand, as it were. So the Lord of Crowns will always appear when you take a balance, an arrow, or a spear. And the Lady of Crowns will always appear when you have a bow, a ewer, or a spire. So you always know what you're chucking away to get.
If you think about it, the old damage cards become the old damage arcana, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And the old like support healing,
defensive, exactly.
Become the old healing arcana.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically
very simple to remember that way.
And then the balance, arrow, and spear are all the melee DPS cards, but except 6% if the target is a melee DPS, 3% for all other classes.
Yeah.
The balance gives you a solar seal, the arrow gives you a lunar seal, and the spear gives you a celestial seal. And then their counterparts in the bowl, ewer, and spire are 6% for range DPS, 3% for any other class. Bowl, solar seal, ewer, lunar seal, spire, celestial seal. And those seals will become apparent when we discuss one of the other abilities that Astra has.
There's no spread, there's no, you can't. I guess, can you still hold cards? No, you can't hold cards.
No, you can't. You have to use them or chuck them away.
You just have play, right?
Yeah, you have play or undraw.
You play.
Yeah, you have play or undraw. That's it.
Yeah.
No, that is it. So basically, the only way I can see you undrawing a card is, and you basically already have. No, you just Minor Arcana. Really.
You Minor Arcana it every time,
I think I guess in lower level content you would undraw it if you're trying to get the 3 seals. If that happens before, I'm not sure how the leveling works. Benefit 2, still pretty much the same. Essential Dignity goes up to 2 charges. Raise is 2,400 mana cost from what I can tell across all jobs that can res. That includes casters.
Yes.
Aspect of Benefit is basically the shield or the regen, depending on what stance you're in. Celestial Intersection is a new ability, so since you played Astro, I'll let you explain how this one works, because I
played Astro, dude.
Yeah.
Basically, Intersection. Which one was Intersection again? This is the one. So this one does the opposite. It's the same as it's basically Aspect Benefit as an off GCD on a 30-second cooldown, but it does the opposite of whichever sect you're in. I think it's weaker too. Is it weaker?
I think it may be slightly.
It's like a weaker version.
So basically, if I'm in regen stance, it'll
give you a shield.
It'll give me a shield. Yeah. And if I'm in shield stance, it gives me a regen. So basically, it gives me a brief kind of piece.
And it is an off GCD.
Yeah, and it gives me a little piece of what I can get from my other stance.
One.
Yeah,
yes.
which is
correct.
It's quite nice. Helios still effectively the same. Collective Unconscious looks to be the same from what I can tell. Aspect of Helios looks the same. It looks pretty much the same from what I can tell. Celestial Opposition is now different, completely different. So restores own HP and HP of all
Celestial
nearby party
Op.
members, which it's a regen, initial heal and a regen. In Nocturnal Sect, it puts up a barrier
So
instead.
what this is, it is worse off GCD aspected Helios.
Yeah.
Is exactly what it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Shorter range too. It's worse in every way.
yeah, or it's
But
or it's like
It's free, and it's all GCD.
yeah, so it's free off GCD, 120-second CD, so it's gonna help with whatever mana issues exist. The star, I believe it is the same from what I can tell.
No damage. I mean, it does damage, but it does like no damage.
But the heal looks to
Down
be
to
the heal looks to be
heal's
the same.
Damage is down to 150.
Yeah, that's not very much.
I believe it was like 300 or something.
Yeah, it got gutted pretty good there, but it should be more for its healing rather than its damage in the first place, right?
That is what it is usually used for.
Yeah.
It is currently no, it's 200. Now it does 150.
Okay, so
it was 150, 200, and then now it's 100, 150.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So obviously the DPS we have Combust.
Combust 2, Combust 3. Combust 3, I think that is not accurate.
Yeah, the damage is probably gonna be it'll probably be like the potency,
40,
maybe like
50,
60 or 70.
would make sense, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Malefic 4, that makes sense too. Gravity you get a level 45, so you can use it one level after you've gone into.
No fall off.
No fall off as well, but it doesn't do any
lower,
damage. 130.
It was 200 with fall off, and now it's 130. So, depending on how many, if you're doing an AoE pull, it's probably going to do more damage.
Yeah. So then we're gonna move on to the stances. So you have your regen or diurnal sect. You have your nocturnal sect, which is the shield stance, and then you have neutral sect.
Neither of those stances have healing magic potency anymore. They've removed the healing magic potency buff off of both of the sects,
and they put it on your neutral
sect. They made it neutral sect,
so they want you to really be this like god mode, this ability basically.
Yes.
So
this is like you just do everything.
Yeah. Basically, it increases your healing magic potency by 20%, and the additional effect is you get both.
Like
you get
all
both.
of these, all of the aspected things, celestial op, intersection. What else? Is that it? Is that those ones? Yeah. And all the other ones to come still.
Yeah.
Right?
Additional effect: aspect of healers and aspect of benefit receive the effects of both diurnal sects.
Oh, is it just those two? No, never mind.
Yeah, it's just those. It's just those two. But even still, that is obviously completely and utterly crazy. Yeah, you can basically go solo heal mode.
Like, I mean, yes, aspected Helios getting that is big.
Yeah.
Because they front-loaded the regen. They front-loaded all of the regen. In the game. Like, entirely.
Exactly.
They front-loaded all regens to be like... Before they were like 100 potency, 30-second HOTS. Now they're 200 potency, 15-second HOTS. They're the same, but they're much stronger. Like, they're much faster heals.
Yeah. Sinistry, from what I can tell, is pretty much the same. You put a thing on a target, and it heals more or less both.
Let me double check. I think the numbers...
Generate an aetheric bond with your target party member each time.
It's 30 seconds longer cooldown. That's the difference.
Oh, 30 seconds longer cooldown. So it's worse.
It's nerfed, yeah.
Okay. And then we got Divination, which is a 3-minute cooldown. Increases damage dealt by self or party members. Can only be executed when you have 3 seals of the Arcana. So that's the Solar, Lunar, Celestial.
Self and nearby party members.
Yeah, and
this is a party-wide 6%.
Yeah, so this is your AoE balance now. So if you have one of each...
It's actually AoE balance, right?
Yeah. It's basically AoE balance, yeah, but except 1% stronger. On a 3-minute cooldown. Yeah. It doesn't actually tell me the duration on this, by the way.
Nope. Doesn't say.
But the radius is 15 yalms, which I believe it was shorter than before. AoE balance. Could be wrong.
Like 20, 25 or something.
But yeah, basically if you have none or 2 different seals in the 3 out of the 3, solar, lunar, or celestial, you get 3%, and if you have one of each, you get 6%.
Cards are like 30 range. I don't know what spread was. Spread might have been 25. I don't remember. Or 20.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more than 15.
Yeah.
So.
And then we got horoscope, which is basically you read your fortune from nearby party members, granting them horoscope. Basically, it's very similar to White Mage's. I'm spacing out what that ability calls. It's the one where you get the stacks on everyone, and when you use something, it used to give you up to 3 stacks, and then you can insta heal them.
Plenary.
Plenary, yeah. It's basically like plenary, but for 1 stack, from how I read it.
Which is what they made plenary.
Which is what they made plenary now. So basically, they're the same. I believe they're the same ability.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah, because basically what you do is you activate it. All your party members get a buff called horoscope. If they get hit with Helios or aspected Helios, the buff then changes, and hitting this a second time will then activate it like plenary did.
I see. So you press it. They have a 10-second buff. If you heal them with either Helios or Aspect Helios in the next 10 seconds, they get a 20-second buff that you can then press for heal?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is pretty
That's it.
pretty good.
Lightspeed's the same, right? So we did that.
Yeah.
It's level 6 though, but I mean, I guess was it level 6? I don't remember.
I don't know. I believe it was like level 40 or 50 or something like that.
I don't remember when Lightspeed. No, it was level 6.
Oh, was it level 6? Okay.
Oh, it's 15 seconds.
Instead of 10?
Because they got rid of Celestial Op extension, so they just made it 15 seconds.
Yeah, they just made it the full extension like before. It's like, instead of using it poorly, we'll just give it to you.
That's kind of funny.
So we got Scholar next here. So we got Boreal Mastery, which increases the potency of Rune. So, okay, Rune 2. Fair. Bio 2 goes to Biolysis.
Biolysis, yep.
And
then Sacred Soul has a hot when you stand in it.
Yeah, that's a bit. I want to say that's good. Just a hunch on that one.
The hot, yeah. It just makes it the Thunderdome.
Yeah, it just literally makes it the Thunderdome.
But like worse.
Physics still the same. Aether Flow still the same. Basically, all their Aether Flow abilities more or less work pretty much the same, except they all give you 10 gauge.
No, Aether Flow, you cannot use it until you are in combat.
Yeah, that is the only change. But, yeah, I apologize on that. Adlo, I think the way it works is that it now has like a different buff now. It has what's called Catalyze, which is basically, it's a separate buff from the Galvanize buff. So you can actually have like multiple shields now.
Oh, crit shield is catalyzed.
It's catalyzed. So you can have catalyze, and you can have like.
They lowered the shield amount on Adlo to 125% from 150.
No, I think it was 100% originally.
No, it was definitely like 150.
Maybe it was 150, got removed, dropped down to 100, and then brought back up.
Not the right Adlo. Okay. Here's this one. What is it now? Oh, now it's just now. Oh, no, right. Doubles is what it does currently, right?
Yeah.
When it crit, and it just has normal. This is more like the Astro one.
Yeah. In a
where
sense,
it does like a percentage.
Sacred Soul, obviously, we mentioned has that has the same effects, except it's got the regen on it now. Indom still functions more or less the same. Same for Dissipation, Emergency Tactics, Deployment Tactics.
Yeah.
Aether Flow, and Change Stratagem effectively works the same. It's just 5% less crit.
Yes.
5% less crit, same recast, same duration. And then we got this interesting ability. You get it level 74. I believe it's pronounced Recitation. Allows the execution of Ad Loquium, Succor, Indomitability, or Excogitation without consuming resources, while also ensuring critical HP is restored. And I said in one of my previous videos, if it's anything less than 3 minutes, this ability is bonkers. Well, it's half that. So
let's see.
That's
Succor. Okay, how much is Indom? 500.
It's a crazy ability.
What is Succor? Succor's 180 with 1 120. No, you definitely just use Indom the HP, right?
Yeah, if you want to get HP, use Indom.
If you need, so yeah, you can use it for any of the situations. If you need burst healing AOE, you can Indom. If you need burst healing single target, you can just X-Cog and it'll
If
get
you need
crit X-Cog, which is stupid.
if you need just protective-ish shields,
If
and
you
don't
ever
have,
if you ever don't need anything and you still want to use it to get the GCD ticking, you can literally just use it as a crit X-Cog that'll go off in 4.
yeah,
Like, huh?
yeah, exactly. It
Okay,
just doesn't make
sure.
sense. If you don't have, if for some reason it doesn't line up with your deployment tactics and you know you would lose the usage, you would just use it on Sucker anyway.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
because.
yeah, Dissipation, by the way. Did you read Dissipation?
Dissipation is different.
It summons the fairy after the effect expires. It auto summons the fairy.
Ah, okay, so that's good.
So it's like probably worth using.
Also, it grants you a full stack of Aether Flow. That's something I
it
also
did that
read.
already.
Oh, did it already do that
Yeah.
already? Okay. I
Yeah,
did
that's
not know.
literally the only thing it did before.
Yeah, I don't play healers
It
at all.
just killed your fairy and gave you Aether Flow stacks.
Yeah.
And people just used it to energy drain. But you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're supposed to do with these Aether Flow stacks, though. I guess you just heat. Like, you can use Indom, right? I guess you can still
use
use
Indom,
them,
use
but then you
Lustrate.
can't use the gauge, so you have to empty your fairy gauge first. It's still kind of awkward to use.
Yeah, it's a bit. Scholar seems to be a bit
depends
on
on how-
the clunky side, unless you're just straight pouring out spells.
How does the Seraph... Oh, the Seraph is just a 2-minute cooldown. Okay. I was like, how does the Seraph come up? Oh, you just press a button. Okay.
Yeah, you just
sure.
press a button. In terms of their dots, basic Biolysis is just better.
Yeah, they
bio.
remove miasma, like, entirely.
Yeah, so it's just a one. It's
No
just a
miasma
1 dot.
2, no miasma 1.
Yeah.
You just have bio.
Yeah, Rune 2 still the same.
Rune 2 is stronger.
Yeah, it's strong. It's stronger now, but it still functions the same. Broil 3 is obviously just enhanced Broil 2.
Big broil.
Yeah, and then Art of War is basically their 150 potency
It's,
AoE damage. You just mash
Instead
it.
of miasma 2, you just have this.
Yeah, you mash that.
Yeah, you just smash the button.
In terms of the pet actions, Embrace still exists. Whispering Dawn still exists. The Fey Union Tether still exists. Fey Illumination still exists.
Fey Covenant's gone.
Fey Covenant is gone. Now that was the
One that the Dark Knight has now, basically. With
the AoE
the AoE magic reduction thing, right? But they've made Fey Illumination have
a little bit. It has 5%.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. To make up for the missing 5% the Dark Knight.
Yeah, the Dark Knight should have, yes.
Eh?
And then Fey Blessing is another ability that you get. It's basically restores HP. It's just an instant heal. It's a smaller
76,
Indom, basically,
right?
for fairies.
It's a fairy Indom, so
Yeah,
you can
fairy
use
Indom.
both of them, right?
And then you have Angel's Whisper, which is basically gradually restores HP and all HP. So it's another...
So, you have the Seraph, right? At 80, right? And the Seraph just has, like, the same abilities, but they're slightly different, right?
So Angel's Whisper, for what I can tell, is the same as Whispering Dawn.
It's Whispering Dawn, exactly, right?
Yeah.
It is literally Whispering Dawn.
Seraphic
And then,
Illumination is the same as Fey Illumination.
Yep,
Okay.
it's just that so you can always use them.
Yeah, and then you have Consolation and Seraphic Veil.
Yes.
So those are obviously
Yes.
different abilities. So how do these
Yes.
interact with the new?
So let me look at them close. Let's see, Constellation. Which one is this? Stores H. This is the AOE for the Seraph. There's a skill for it too, right? Yeah, it has 2 charges, right? If you look in the Summoner Action section, at the bottom right, there's 2 charges for Constellation,
Mm-hmm.
and so you get because of how it works, Seraph being a 2-minute cooldown, you're always gonna have 2 charges
Mm-hmm.
going into this, and you will, because it's a 20-second summon, you'll never be able to use more than 2. So you'll always use exactly 2 of these
Mm-hmm.
when you summon the Seraph. And
Or at
it's
least
just
you
like-
can use up to 2, if you
can.
so choose.
You probably should.
Yeah.
because
Overhealing
you
aside,
cut
just
your
do it
hate
anyway.
And it doesn't matter, or the hate's going to the pet. The pet's going to get desummoned. It does not even targetable.
It doesn't even matter. It can't even take hate anymore.
I think you just take the hate, but like you can
Yeah.
still cut your hate with
Lucid Dreaming.
Lucid, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically a sucker from the pet
Yes.
with its own special, different type of barrier. It's like another type of barrier.
Yeah, which I believe can stack because it doesn't say anything else.
It's not the same type of barrier, so it can stack. And then Seraphic Veil is what's it called?
A single target heal, but also
This is just Embrace.
yeah, it's basically enhanced embrace.
It's Embrace, but Embrace as Adlo.
Yeah, embraces
Adlo Embrace.
Now I'm curious to know
Which is
if
exactly what I thought it was from the trailer.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Seraphic Veil and Constellation are the same type of barrier as well.
I would think so, but who knows?
Yeah. And then lastly, summon Eos and summon Selene. Basically, you just pick which pet you feel like looking at, basically.
Yeah, does Selene even do anything?
They're the same. Their abilities are the same.
That's a little strange.
Yeah, it's literally just in terms of visual effect. And it has a 2.5 second base cast time.
That's a little. It's just
To bring out the fairy, but it can't die.
Fairy
anyway,
glamours, Pog. That was the other thing. Real quick, they had the trust system, and in the trust system, Alphanaut is a scholar, not a summoner. He is a scholar. So people are like, does that mean we're getting fairy glamours? Because when he was a summoner, we got eggy glamours. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's it for Scholar.
Yeah.
They took a lot of their damage out.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of healing.
From what I've heard from people who went to the media tour, it seems like Scholar is still going to be Scholar in terms of content. A little bit more flexible in terms of what types of heals it can throw out. But in terms of dungeons, it's just not what you're looking to be doing.
Spam one button.
Yeah, it's pretty Resident Sleeper.
Yes.
In terms
you
of
currently do that, but you press like 4 buttons.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, it's not much different.
Yeah.
5 buttons, I guess, currently. Shadowflare. Oh, yeah, Shadowflare's gone. That's the other thing.
Yeah, and Shadowflare's gone. Bane's gone.
The game entirely.
Yeah, Shadowflare's gone. Bane is gone from Scholar specifically.
From Scholar, yeah.
And then in terms of White Mage, for the last healer here, the only real noticeable traits here, obviously things are just being upgraded for the most part. One, they made lilies useful. You get one every 30 seconds in combat. So basically, once you start the fight, it'll start a timer. And basically, once you consume 3 of those lilies, you basically get a blood lily, which basically gives you a massive 900 potency, I think it was.
It's 900 potency, but it has scaling, like down.
Scaling down for AoE, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Enhanced Asylum also has basically 10%
They basically turned lilies into Aetherflow.
A timed Aetherflow.
Like time-based, like automatic regenerating Aether effects.
Exactly.
And they gave us new skills to use them on.
Yeah. And then for Asylum, it's basically just half a convalescence when you're by healing actions when you're in the bubble.
Everyone in the bubble gets more healing.
Now the thing that I want to know is how big is this bubble? Because Asylum was pretty tiny in comparison to in terms of like Sacred Soul.
It's 6 yalms. Yeah.
So.
But it's still like it's good. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah. So Cure, Regen, Benediction, Raise, Cure 2, all function more or less the same. Tetra functions the same. Divine Benison now is basically the same thing, but except doesn't require anything. It's free.
It didn't require anything, but it has now. It is. Before it was like a percentage thing. Now it's
just a flat rate.
500 potency. Shield.
Yeah.
Like cure potency shield.
Yeah. Cure 2 is still effectively the same. Apart from, I believe there was some type of trait that gave you a percentage off Cure 3 or something like that, if I remember correctly. But
I think there's still free Cure in the game.
There's still free Cure, but
so it costs more than the Astro skills, I believe. But there's still free Cure in the game. So.
Medica 2 still function the same. A size is effectively the same, except
Medica
its
2
recast is lower.
front-loaded the regen.
Oh, so the initial hit is
look,
better.
The regen ticks are 100, but it's only 15 seconds.
Okay, so the regen tops you up faster is what we're looking at.
It's quicker. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That means you're gonna have to cast it more often.
Which means you're just
because you're gonna get killed a lot faster.
Yeah. A size is 15 seconds less from what I remember. I believe the ONMP restored is the same.
They did change it to 45 at point, didn't they? Or was it like 30 now? Remember, it's like ridiculous. They like super buffed it. Remember before they said, "Oh, we're gonna temporarily super buff White Mage before the expansion to
Yeah, just for fun.
It's exactly the same.
Apart from that, yeah. Then we got obviously Asylum. It's still 6 yalms on this tooltip. Obviously, that can change.
I'm assuming it's gonna stay the
Cure
same.
3. So remember when we were discussing this off stream? I was like, oh yeah, they could do it to where they have Cure 3 times. Well, you can do it a lot more than 3 times. You can do it 7 times.
That's plenty.
Before burning your entire mana pool away. In terms of DPS, Glare is your new spammable stone, basically. And your dot is...
Dia.
It's just Dia, which is just a really strong single dot.
It's just, it's literally... They took the 18-second garbage that is Arrow 2, and they're like, let's make it 30 seconds.
Yeah, let's just make it...
And then double its initial hit potency.
Yeah, exactly. Then we got Holy, which is just 140 damage to all enemies with no drop-off. But it's...
Still stuns. It's fairly cheap.
Yeah. So for its damage, its cost is about right, I would say.
600 instead of 400 for, like, Glare, right? Pretty cheap. So if you hit 3 targets, it's worth it already, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, so this is good. It's gonna do more damage in, like, big pulls. So.
Yeah, in terms of utility, we got Fluid Aura, just binds the target. Presence of Mind.
Knock back.
Yeah, it doesn't knock back, it just binds the target instead.
Only
Presence of Mind still effectively works the same. Thin Air just has its wording, basically different.
Yeah.
Plenary Indulgence now grants a confession stack to self and nearby party members upon receiving healing from Medica or Medica 2. Cast by self, trigger an additional healing effect. So basically, the second when you use Plenary Indulgence, you forget about it, and then when you use another heal, it will automatically trigger.
Automatically, you talking about?
Yeah. So it says upon receiving HP recovery via Medica 2, or Cure 3 cast by self,
it's one of
trigger an additional healing effect. Whereas I believe the Astra one you have to actually recast Horoscope, but you have 20 seconds to do so.
Yeah, so
whereas
you can pick when to do it. This is just a big burst heal.
This is just like, I use this, I then cast Cure 3, and then everyone just goes up even higher.
Basically, just instead of Cure 3 being 550, it just becomes 750.
Yeah, pretty much. It's healing Dark Arts, right?
Pretty much.
It's
healing Dark Arts on a minute cooldown.
Yeah. And then their level 80 ability, the Wings. So basically, you get 20% increased healing potency, healing magic potency.
Big numbers.
Reducing damage taken by self and all party members within a radius of 30 arms, which is the entire arena, by 10%. So basically,
usually the entire arena.
Yeah, you pop this thing, you heal everyone. And
the biggest ones are like 40 across.
Yeah. Basically, you pop this, you get wings, you become an angel, you're everyone's savior.
Stand in the middle of the room and you're good.
Yeah, you're solid. And then lastly, the Blood Lilies. So these are the 3 abilities here that you can basically use Blood Lilies on. One is basically just
it's another Tetra.
Another Tetra.
It has no cooldown other than lilies.
Yeah, so you could basically chain them like Lustrates if you wanted to, if you had 3 lilies.
So Solace is just Tetra. Rapture is just Medica, but
free.
And just costs a lily.
Just costs a lily.
And then Misery is just
is what happens when you consume 3 lilies.
Flare.
Yeah. It's flare.
It's just Terra Flare.
It's just Terra Flare. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's just a big old Demugio.
Yeah. So looking back on the healer, so what are we thinking? I think out of all of them, we can honestly say that the Scholar looks the clunkiest. Doesn't look the most fluid. White Mage's kit makes sense. It's definitely way better. It makes the lilies actually quite useful. And then Astro Cards is just single card here, single card there, single card everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, I've always liked White Mage, just chucking rocks and stuff. But
Well, now you're chucking water or something.
now you're chucking like light energy and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's pretty good. I think in general, like, I mean, a lot of people are like, "Wah, I can't do damage." I'm like,
Yeah.
You'll probably still do like decent damage, but you won't do.
I'm pretty sure White Mage is going to do
Percentage-wise, of the total damage in the party, you will not do as much
as a healer. But White Mage is going to be. I feel like White Mage is going to have a big gap over the other two potentially.
White Mage now is like.
This does damage, like in comparison to the other healers.
I think we just killed Scholar, dude. I'm not sure.
It's just like contemplating. It's like we've only known Scholar to be the best for so long.
It's tough,
what
dude.
Happened?
Like,
but the thing is, with Scholar, it's a lot more flexible. Right?
I think Scholar's like out for Prague, dude. It's gone.
You think?
I think you're gonna need the damage from the cards.
Potentially.
And the passive aura buff, like the 3-minute cooldown, and then you're gonna need the healing from White Mage.
That is.
You might need this stupid plenary burst heal of like 750 potency.
The only thing that you can say for Scholar and playing
like what you can do you can do 2 seconds, you can do 1 GCD, 1050 potency the whole party.
Yeah. But playing
with one lily.
Playing Devil's Advocate for Scholar, you don't have to manage your cards in prog. You could just focus on I'm doing stuff here. I'm trying to keep everyone alive. Yeah.
Dude. I mean, having personally managed cards in Prague, these cards are dirt.
Yeah, these cards are dirt. They're just like, oh, I got a card, slap it on somebody's head, don't care.
I was like playing Hearthstone while playing Yu-Gi-Oh! While playing Duel Masters. Now it's like I'm playing checkers. Don't really have to pay attention.
Yeah. So moving on to the casters. Casters got the short end of the stick in terms of role actions. 4 abilities, so 3 you've already seen before: Lucid Dreaming, Short Cast, and Swift Cast from the healer role actions. And then they still retain Addle, which, as far as I can tell, is on the same cooldown as well. Basically another GCD for Wormwave.
Yeah.
Or another skill for Wormwave.
Rip Surecast again.
But yeah, Rip Surecast. It's dead, Jim.
Died as it lived.
Yeah.
Black Mage's AFK.
In terms of Black Mage, what we're looking at now, so Thundercloud still works the same. Enhanced Sharpcast, eventually it gets a 30-second recast timer instead of 60, which is obviously very good. Enhanced Freeze grants an Umbral Heart upon casting Freeze. So originally Freeze just gives you 3 Umbral Ice stacks.
Entirely.
Yeah. Freeze gives you 3 Umbral Ice stacks, and this trait gives you 3 Umbral Ice stacks plus the heart.
Freeze, yeah. It's been redone.
Enhanced Umbral Heart still reduces the MP cost of Flare. Casting Flare completely removes the Umbral Heart status. That was the same as before.
Yep.
Enhanced Enochian improves Enochian's magic damage increase by 15% instead of 10.
That's, Enochian 2.
And then Firestarter functions the exact same. So for the most part,
Aspect 3, right?
What's that? Aspect. I didn't even see that. Okay, I didn't scroll across.
Aspect Mastery.
Accumulating full stacks of either Astral Fire or Umbral Ice, then casting a spell of the opposite element will consume no MP.
So you can use like Flare or the new thing Despair, and
still be able to use Blizzard 3 at the end of the rotation. Yeah. So you no longer have to worry about dumb mana ticks or having like a little
freeze. Even you can use freeze on the AOE.
Yeah, exactly.
It just gives you 3. It's just freeze is basically AOE Blizzard 3 that gives you a heart.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty good.
So,
and then Enhanced Polyglot allows a second stack of a Polyglot, and we have a different Polyglot ability, which we will show once we have the abilities up. Most of these abilities have already been shown / everyone pretty much
So,
knows
like,
about
same
them
stuff,
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the fire spells all
Body.
pretty much work the same. Despair is just it's single target flare. That's pretty much what it is there.
Yeah,
You use it at the end of your fire rotation. That's pretty much what you're gonna do
Yeah.
for the most part.
They also made well, the fire lasts for 15 instead of 13 or whatever, right? It was 13, right?
Oh, the yes, it does. It lasts 2 seconds.
Lasts for
longer.
15 seconds now.
That is also correct.
Even longer.
Yeah,
Just same with ice, obviously.
yeah. The ice ones are the same in terms of what they do.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, pretty much
Thunder
same.
is-
Thunder basically works the same as well. Costs 800 MP for Thunder 4.
They
400
didn't
for
put
Thunder
Thunder
3.
on here.
Scathe.
Scathe still exists.
I love how they. I also love how they have a section called Unexpected. It's great.
It's unexpected damage.
Yeah. So you have Scathe, which you can still. It's got a 20% chance to double. The potency will double. That's always been there. Yeah. And this
Wait,
is
why is
the.
Thunder? Wait, I'm so confused.
What about Thunder?
Why is Thunder 4 not in the AoE section? Thunder 2.
Because
Whatever.
it's under Thunder.
Yeah, but why is Thunder 2 in the AoE section then? Whatever.
Oh,
Don't
I
worry
know.
about
Who
it.
knows? Yeah, we won't worry about that.
They messed up. Okay.
And then we got
Didn't get that part through.
Xenosis Glossy Vex here. Deals unexpected damage with a potency of 750. It's
No
single
cast
target.
time.
Single target.
Single target foul, no cast time.
No cast time. So if you wanted to use
Dumb.
these back to back, you can do this off GCD something else,
Yeah.
or this off GCD this again, or if you wanted to
Yep.
get the damage out instantly, like let's say the trick window has, I don't know. I don't even know if the math would even work out, but it was had like 2 seconds left. You could foul, then use this if you wanted to. Like if you knew foul was gonna kill everything except one target, you could foul then this
I mean,
if you wanted to.
I get if it. Yeah.
But
If you're gonna
basically,
get the-
basically you're just gonna use this twice.
You're just gonna use this twice.
Yeah, which
If
means
you're
that
gonna
you're
get, if you can get the foul off and this off in the window, that means you can get 2 of these off in the window.
yeah,
Which is easy.
exactly.
But yeah.
So with this, basically, what you're trying to accomplish is you want to stack up to 2, use them both in a burst window. But the main advantage is that it's an instant cast, so you can't get trapped while in your highest peak of damage in a single ability, which is obviously good. And then in terms of AoE, Fire 2 still exists.
Not
Flare,
gonna use it.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just crap. I think it's just like you use it at level 18.
Dude, I'm pretty sure you just like freeze, like freeze fire 3, flare, freeze fire 3, flare.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Some foul.
It's just
like
this is
some
just
stupid
lower level
foul.
AoE stuff, basically.
Yeah, obviously.
Thunder 2 obviously
But
is the downgraded version of Thunder 4. Freeze, as we said before, 3 stacks of Umbral Ice, and it gives you a heart.
And
So-
it's targeted on an enemy. It's no longer ground targeted.
Yeah, so whichever enemy you have picked,
It's
will
no longer-
use it on that.
The worst ability to target in your whole life.
Yeah, exactly. It has no fall off as well. And then Foul obviously has, I believe,
Oh yeah,
the
they changed flare fall off.
Flare's fall off, and I think Foul's fall off is slightly different as well.
Fouls is was it like 5% per thing? I don't remember.
I can't remember. But the fall off damage for
It was
most
5.
abilities has been reworked or changed in some way,
Yeah,
shape,
they
or form.
changed them. Like flare is just like 40% less for each, like other than the main target.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what else did they change? Oh right, transpose.
So Transpose, 5 seconds instead of 10. Sure.
Don't think you need this ability.
Yeah, Ley Lines is, from what I could tell, the same. Sleep puts all targets, still the same, pretty much. Sharp Cast obviously going down to
Sharpcast is
30 seconds.
30, you know, yeah.
So you may actually want to use this on Thunder now. I'm not sure how the math actually works out. Or you may want to always use it on Fire. I'm not sure which one. There was one you always wanted to prioritize over the other.
You use it on fire a lot, but maybe Thunder. Well, Thunder for AoE obviously, but like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It depends on
Because the
how
duration,
everything works out.
yeah, the duration lasts
Depends
15
on mana
seconds.
ticks, honestly,
Yeah.
right?
Mana ward is just 30%
How much your
shield.
rotation changes. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things that we
there's a
don't
lot
know
of
until we
numbers
actually
that'll
see
be
how it's
going
played. For that. Mana ward's still the same as far as I know. I want to say that the recast time is lower, but I could be wrong on that.
I think it's the. I don't remember.
Enochian basically functions the same. Mana font is old convert, except you don't lose HP.
Mana ward is identical.
Mana ward's identical, okay.
Yes.
Mana font is basically convert, but except you don't lose HP.
Yep.
Aetherial Manip, basically the same thing as before. Triple cast, same thing as before.
Between the lines.
Wait, was triple cast 60 seconds or 90? I want to say it was 90.
Think. Didn't they buff it to 60 at one point?
They may have buffed it to 60 before. It may have been
It's
originally
60.
90.
Yeah, it was 90 and now it's 60.
Yeah. Between the lines is the same as before. And then the really, really cool out of combat ability, which makes Black Mage a whole lot better.
This is the why do we even have transpose anymore?
Correct. It's because you get this at level 76, not level 2.
I mean, yes, I understand.
Umbral Soul. So grants Umbral Ice and 1 Umbral Heart. It's just a GCD. You just spam it 3 times when you're walking around.
Smash it over and over again when the boss leaves.
Yeah. Exactly.
After you despaired.
Yeah, exactly. It's just your downtime so that you can get back into ice and then you can basically send out a fire immediately. Fire 3. So you can basically you get in a lot quicker to your main damage rotation. Moving on to Resident Sleeper Mage. From what I can tell, so dual cast still exists. There's an enhanced displacement, which just basically gives it more damage. So you want to be encouraged to use your backflip,
Jump back.
if you can, without falling off the edge.
They buffed magnification.
Yeah, so where it's 10 seconds lower cooldown, but 5% magic damage increase.
And it gives magic damage, yes.
Um,
And Contra 60. As
Yeah.
well as, I think.
yeah, the
I think those
recast
are
timer is lower.
AoE for Thunder and for Arrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're both named. It's weird.
Yeah, they're both named the same. That's obviously not going to be the case.
Very strange.
Yeah, and scatter is impact. Scatter
Impact,
upgrades to impact. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's go into their actual abilities. So Jolt, as far as I know, still functions the same. Same as
Yep.
Jolt 2.
They buffed Jolt 2 by like 10 potency or something.
Yeah.
Because they removed impact as a single target.
Yeah. The Ver Stone and the Ver Fires are Ver Thunder, Ver Arrow. Those are all pretty much the same, except for there's now AoE versions of the Ver Arrow and the Ver Thunder.
Yes. They've basically done the same thing as they've done in all the other DPS, where they like fixed AoE rotations, like be not terrible
Yeah.
most of the jobs. They're actually like smooth now.
Another thing that's also nice is that the after if Ver Holy is the ability that you wanted to use, it basically replaces one of the buttons on your bars. I believe it's the AoE Ver Arrow, and then Ver Flares replaces the AoE Ver Thunder, I want to say. So it's basically two less buttons on your bar, which is nice.
Doesn't it already do that?
No, I'm talking about the new abilities.
Wait, what new one?
So
those
the AoE
okay.
ones, it basically
interesting.
replaces that button briefly until you use it.
I see.
And then Scorch obviously is their new highlight ability, where they can use it after a Ver Holy or a Ver Flare, which just does a boatload of damage. Also, Jolt 2 is the ability that changes to Scorch when it is available.
I don't see anything about turning into it.
And then Ver Rays. Yeah, that still exists.
It's here, yeah. Look at the cast time when you don't quick cast it, dude. It's like 10 seconds.
It's just forever.
That's eternal.
So yeah, you just I'm not sure. This recast doesn't mean anything. You could still quick cast 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, no, you can't. If you swift cast, you only get. But yeah.
Yeah, you swift cast 1. Your AoE now is the. See, it's the Nuvair Thunder, Nuvair Arrow. Those 2 abilities were the ones that turn into the Ver Holy and the Ver Flare. And then, Scatter becomes Impact, or vice versa. Can't remember what the basic read.
Scatter becomes Impact.
Yeah.
At level, what is it, 66? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what you want to do is you want to you Ver Thunder, Ver Arrow. When you get an acceleration.
And Scatter and Impact are longer now. They're like 5 seconds. So before you used to spam Scatter, like double Scatter a million times.
Yeah.
So you get enhanced Scatter. But now it's like a 5 seconds. So you want to use the AOE Arrow or Thunder
first.
And then Impact.
Yeah. And then Impact.
It's like the single target rotation, but the other way around basically. You use the elemental one and then the red one.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of the red one, then the elemental one.
Embolden, still the same. And then we have.
Yeah. Both are reduced by 20% every 4 seconds. Yeah.
And then the melee combo still the same, except for there was a slight alteration to the amount of mana that you need. From what I saw, or was that a different ability? There may have been a different ability.
No, they have another ability, right? It's still like 75, right? Or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, so you have Reprise,
80, right?
and you have Enchanted Reprise. So basically you have an ability that you can spend 10 black mana, 10 white mana, for potency of 300, that has 25 Yalm range. So basically if you're going to overcap on mana, and you don't want to use your burst rotation, your melee combo and all that stuff, you can use this instead.
Yeah, now you have like it's like a filler move, basically.
Yeah, and it's
a range spender filler move.
Yeah. It's better than Scathe in every way, shape, or form.
Correct. It actually does damage.
Yeah. Fletch is still the same, and then you obviously have your...
Contra 60's buffed. Well, it's changed in general.
Oh, I think it was enhanced. Was it enhanced Moulinet? That was 30 and 30, wasn't it? Enhanced Moulinet. So now you can do
Moulinet's
5 instead of...
super good. Wait, what the hell?
Yeah, so it's 20.
They really did just buff every AoE in the game, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like there's so much trash, man.
It may just
every fight's just A2.
It's A2.
Every fight's A2.
Yeah, so basically Red Mage is just gonna feel the same.
Yeah, Contra 60, they lowered the cooldown and made it the fall off different. And all that stuff. Most
AoE things have slightly different fall off.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Are we in another? Oh, we have Summoner. After Summoner, I'm gonna need to go to the bathroom.
All right. Yeah, we can kind of pause.
Take a little break after Summoner.
Just over the halfway mark.
Yeah, dude. Well.
What I'll do is I'll play an intermission.
We're at the halfway mark right now. We just did the halfway mark.
Yeah. In terms of Summoner, so they have...
There's a million traits.
There's a million different traits.
Traits, Summoner actions, and then... Here we go.
Yeah, so some of the traits is like... is Kindle, recast time are being lowered. The new Eggy Assault actions 1 and 2. The Rune Mastery still exists. Dreadworm Trance still exists. Ruination just basically means your runes do more damage, which extends its duration.
Yeah.
Enhanced Bane also spreads ruination effects to nearby enemies. So if you have
ruination is 30 seconds now.
It's 30 seconds now, and then Enhanced Firebird Trance allows you to obviously summon the Phoenix.
Ruination also buffs the newly changed Tribind, which is a new skill. Again, they've made it a new skill for the 5th time.
It's just a new skill for the 5th time.
There's pet actions too, but
yeah, exactly. We'll go to those afterwards because that's mainly the main crux of the job, really. So we got Bio, Bio 3, Miasma 3. Those are pretty much the same. Try Disaster increases.
I think the dots are nerfed, right? For Summoner, weren't the dots nerfed? I think
maybe
Bio.
like
I think
10
it was
potency.
either Bio 3 or Miasma 3 is like 10 potency left. The other one's the
Yeah.
same. I don't remember which one it is.
Dreadworm Trance still functions the same. Death Flare functions more or less the same. Summon Bahamut, Enkindle Bahamut, Akmorn, all that stuff pretty much functions.
Instead of for Dreadworm Trance, instead of reducing Ruins cast time, it reduces spell cast time. So every spell. But I mean,
okay.
that means you can do AOE stuff as well, right?
Oh, so
with
you
no
can
cast
actually use AoE abilities rather than just
You
like
can use this new outburst thing down here, as AOE, and it's fine.
this outburst. So it deals unexpected potency.
They have outburst on here twice. Well, no. Okay.
Yeah. So you can actually use
Yeah.
outburst rather than just.
And Ruination affects outburst as well.
Yeah, exactly, which is good.
And Bane spreads Ruination.
Yeah. Wormwave deals unexpected damage with the potency of this, can only be executed. This probably still functions the same, where even though the range is 100 yalms, Bahamut will
Isn't
still
it
move.
160 right now? Is it going back down to 150 again?
It's 100 apparently on this tooltip,
100.
according to
Where?
this.
Tooltip. No, not the range. I mean the potency.
Oh, the potency's 150.
Yeah, I thought it was 160 on live, right?
Not too sure. All I know is
Wait,
that
it was 150 and then it became 160 and now it's
Yeah.
150.
yeah, I'm not sure why Bahamut needs
no,
to
it's-
move if he has a range of 100. You know,
Oh, wait, this has a recast.
of 1.5 seconds. It's always had a recast.
Currently, it says it's instant recast on
Instant recast.
Garlon tools. Yeah,
Maybe.
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I'm getting
Um,
spooked.
In terms of your Aether Flow, Energy Drain is now how you get your Aether Flow, quote unquote. Energy Siphon is the AoE version of
Only
Energy Drain, which gets you your Aether Flow, but it's only
There are
2
only
stacks.
2 stacks.
Yeah. And the way you consume your Aether Flow is Fester and Pain Flare. Bane does not require an Aether Flow stack anymore.
Yeah, Fester is very strong.
Yeah,
They upped it by 100,
it's pretty
but
good.
they have lowered Pain Flare by like
A lot.
what 660 or something. Right?
It was a big chunk. Ruin
was it
2
more than 200?
function the
It's a lot.
same. Physic is probably still crap and doesn't scale off intelligence anyway.
We don't know if it does or not, but the odds are is they probably forgot.
Yeah, they probably honestly forgot. Then Outburst obviously is the AoE spammable ability.
Outburst is Tribind, but you can just it actually does stuff.
Yeah. Resurrection still functions the same.
Yep.
Ruin 3 has the additional effect if you're suffering from bio or miasma, your Ruin 3 potency is increased by 200 for one or 250 for both.
They basically have they have the Fester effect of like increasing potency kind of thing
Yeah.
put into ruins. All of the ruins
And Ruin
are
4
like
works
that.
the same.
And then
works
it
the same that way,
also
too.
gets ruination buff on top of that.
Yeah, exactly. And also,
So-
I also heard
yeah.
that Ruin 4 has a charge buff as well.
Does it?
It has
Oh.
it has a charge counter.
That's kinda
you
silly.
can check the traits. So basically, and they last a decent bit of time. Let's go back to the traits really quickly. It would be further ruin, enhance ruin, Ruin 4. This was only what I heard. I'm not sure if this is actually correct, but
Could have been a shit post.
could have been. Very much could have been.
Looks like it.
Unless it's something.
But no, it was that pet actions have charges,
Oh, the pet action.
action.
Yeah, the charges.
right? Is
Yeah.
it pet actions? Yeah, pet actions have charges. That's what it is.
And then in terms of the way the Phoenix works, so basically it has this Enkindle. You have your Firebird Trance, which again resets the Tri Disaster just like Bahamut does. You
Also
have your
reduces the spell cast, same thing.
yeah, reduces spell cast. It has a heal, small regen. It's not much, 200, but it is something. And then it obviously has
20, dude. That's
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, it's
That's even less.
even less. It's like 180. Because It's like 6 ticks.
nothing. You don't even
Or
get
120.
the last tick.
It's even worse.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's not
you get
great.
nothing, dude.
And then you have when Phoenix is actually summoned, it deals damage.
Yep.
Apparently.
The thing about we kind of skimmed over the Bahamut, Akmorn
Yep.
is now 680 for first and 50%,
Instead of a gradual
all
drop
remaining?
off.
whereas Revelation is now what the old Bahamut was, where it's 680 for the first and then it has drop off slowly.
Yeah. So it's a slow drop off rather than.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Phoenix is old Bahamut more or less in terms of its damage level.
Yes.
And then obviously it has stuff like Fountain of Fire, Brand of Purgatory, which is just smaller abilities that it can use during its trance.
No, that's a spell you use, I believe.
Oh, it's a spell
During
that we
Firebird.
use. Yeah, so
I
it
believe
basically
that-
replaces, I guess, your rune skills. That's kind of how it
think so.
functions.
I don't remember. I know one of them is definitely one that you use. It's like Fountain of Fire allows you to use Brand of Purgatory, right?
Fountain of Fire grants Burgeoning Flame.
Yeah, it gives you the thing, and then you can use
Yeah, and then Burgeoning Flame allows you to use
9 radius. That's pretty wide, actually.
yeah.
Or 8, rather. 8 radius.
Yeah, it's a decently wide area.
That's a fat radius.
And then in terms of the summoner actions, so we have the summons, which are all instant, 10-second recast.
They all have separate 10-second recasts.
Yeah, so basically if you summon Garuda, then you could summon Titan, then you could summon Ifrit.
If you misclick one, you can just click the other one.
Yeah, and you're okay. The Eggy Assault has 2 charges on both abilities.
Yep,
Aether
both
Pack is a 180-second cooldown, which
buffed it.
executes
Deflected
Devotion, which just 5% damage for everyone.
Yep.
Within 15 yalms, and it's 15 seconds.
Yep.
Pretty good. Enkindle obviously is Enkindle. Functions basically the same. And then in terms of abilities, Ifrit is more of the single target damage dealer. Has a little bit of AoE, but if you're looking for AoE, Garuda's a lot better. And then Titan somewhere in between. But it also it also has Earthen Armor, which creates a barrier around you that absorbs damage totaling 20% of your max HP that lasts 30 seconds.
Basically, Mana Ward.
Yeah, basically.
Titan Mana Wards you.
Yeah, Titan just Mana Wards
And
you.
does some AoE.
So in terms of defensive capability, you want to bring out Titan. If you want to do AoE, you're looking at
I
Garuda.
think Titan does more single target than Garuda, right?
Titan will do more single target than Garuda, but not more single target than Ifrit.
Yeah, Ifrit's definitely stronger for single. Yeah.
The only thing you bring Titan out for really is
So
if you still want to do single target, but you also want to get the effect of Earthen Armor, you bring out Titan.
Yep. And you can just break him out, give yourself the Earthen Armor, and just get rid of him. So
Yeah, pretty
not
much.
exactly a big deal, because you just resummon Ifrit like instantly off GCD.
Yeah, and then in
Simple.
terms of the big damage abilities here,
I think they're about the same.
the AoE is a lot better for Garuda, which is it's slightly more than Ifrit and Titan, which are the same.
Which are the same, yeah. So
Yeah.
Titan does damage now.
Yeah.
Opposed to before, where he just did.
No, Ifrit does it in a cone. Titan deals damage. He just does
It's
it to
around.
nearby targets in a circle, basically. So Ifrit does it in a cone in front of him. Titan
It's
does it in a
like-
circle.
Because remember, Titan does the stupid puddle thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Just
exactly
like
what it is.
the egg ads.
Yeah.
EX.
So
Yeah.
more or less, that's pretty much the casters there. So in terms of what the casters got, I think Black Mage is kind of in the same boat as what we will see in Samurai, which is actually the last stuff that we'll be looking at. Red Mage is still Res Mage, Resident Sleeper Mage. We'll have to see on that one. And Summoner looks super, super cool. It looks like you just free flowing through all your different stages of your summons, and you're just kind of just pulling them out one by one by one by one, and you're just battling in that way.
You're an actual summoner.
You're an actual summoner. You use your
You're
pets
not a ruiner.
to do
You're a
something.
Summoner.
Exactly. So we're gonna take a short intermission, and then when we come back, we'll be going on to the ranged, and then lastly the melee, and then we'll give our overall thoughts. So.
Become the warrior of darkness.
Trailer gets epic. Even more epic. Every time. It's too good.
Let me in.
Let me in.
Let me in.
July 2nd, that's not the release date. For early access, anyway. Anywho. Let me resize this window back again. There we go. Alright. So we actually saw the next job that we're looking at in the video. Nope, we're not. We see Bard next. My bad.
No, that's Bard. Yeah. Let's say.
So roll actions. So this one's a bit interesting. So they claimed, big claim, that they're going to be reusing these roll actions. So leg graze, head graze, foot graze. So bind, interrupt. It's different now. Not a silence, an interrupt is what they're calling it. And a heavy. Increased movement speed as long as they remain within a distance. Cannot be used in battle. Second wind obviously is second wind. And then arm's length is now on. Although it is scuffed, but it is on range, so you can still use it.
I mean, it works.
But it's scuffed.
Technically, I mean, yes.
Now no cover into arm's length cheese.
I mean,
Imagine how nonsense that would be when you have to get 50 beast gauge in order to use cover in order to stop somebody from getting knocked off.
Shield gauge
Yeah.
shield gauge or whatever it is. What's it called again?
It's just oath gauge, I think.
Oath gauge. Yeah, just oath gauge. That's the one. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah, basically. It's just oath gauge. Alright, so let's go back to the traits. So traits. So heavy shot, it has changed a bit. So basically it's a 20% chance that you'll get straight shot ready.
Yep.
Which then changes later on into burst shot, where
so straight shot is just
it's just a
it's not like a GCD.
it's not a GC that you could just use.
Well, it is, but it's like not a. It's a conditional.
Yeah, it's a
And it doesn't
conditional.
give crit.
Yeah, it doesn't give you the crit, but now it makes it so that you just
Yeah.
you get the refulgent. Basically,
It's just
is
like
all it
get.
does.
It's just like get a refulgent
Yeah, it's just your refulgent before.
until you get refulgent.
Your amp arrow still does the same. Your dots still upgrade. Your quick knock now adds a 30% chance that your bloodletter Rain of Death will reset. So that's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Also, your bites at level 76 add a 35% chance that you will become straight shot ready. That's when you use them, not the ticks. When you use them.
They what's it called? They removed the trait where it extends the duration, and they just made them be
The
30
base
second
one's 30
dots as
seconds.
well.
Yeah, that is also good
Yes.
for lower levels. And then like I said, the burst shot is basically just a better heavy shot.
Yeah.
And then they have soul voice, which is basically you get a new gauge. You get
You get a new gauge.
5 gauge each time a repertoire stack is granted. So that's a stack of Pitch Perfect. That's a stack.
It's any stack of any of the song. It's a repertoire.
Any of the songs that's not Mage's Ballad, as far as I know.
Yeah, any with the ones with stack. Well, actually, I think does it apply on that too? Maybe.
I think it has. It may apply on everything, but I think that would require some play testing. I think it may be called a repertoire stack, or it may just be. It may be named something different.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Does Mage's Ballad say repertoire stack?
It has
Oh no, it does. It does. So every time you get a blood letter, it also counts towards this gauge.
Oh well, that's good.
Yeah. So they're all.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're all just called repertoire.
Yeah, they're all just called repertoire stacks. So your dots obviously are the same, except with the increase in duration. Iron Jaws still functions
Well, the
the
duration
same.
is the same. It's they have the 35% chance thing now. Iron Jaws is the same.
Let's look at their utility here. So we got Raging Strikes more or less the same, maybe slightly nerfed.
Yeah.
I remember being 90 seconds. Was it always 80 seconds? I know it always had a
80.
weird recast.
It's 80 because it's the same as Barrage and like the songs. Right?
Yeah, Repelling Shot still does the same thing, but Barrage now. So remember, you know how you get those openers
Barrage.
where you're sitting there, you're waiting for the Refulgent Arrow, you're
You
thinking
never
it's
get
coming, it never gets there,
Ever.
and then right after you're done, it says, "Hi, I'm here. You can use me now." Now Barrage automatically grants Straight Shot Ready, which basically gives you your Refulgent. As well as tripling the number of strikes. So basically, you're just going to use this into a Refulgent every time.
Correct.
Battle Voice increases direct hit rate of all party members by 20%. I believe that was 15% before.
Yes.
Troubadour is the same thing as Tactician and Shield Samba. As far as I know, it's just 10% reduction for everyone.
The cooldown is different though.
The cooldown is 180 seconds for this one.
It's cool, yeah. So Troubadour's cooldown is 3 minutes, and I know Tactician's is 2. I don't remember.
It may be higher, maybe lower, but I know that they cannot
3,
stack.
maybe 2. Who knows? Maybe
So,
2.5. Who knows?
Yeah, so this is discouraging, obviously, having multiple ranged and just stacking this across all of them.
Well.
And then Nature's Manet, which they finally realized was super overpowered. They buffed it to, they nerfed it to 90 seconds rather than being on 45 seconds. Yeah, that was, I had a feeling that something like that was gonna, I was like, this seems too good.
It's still good.
Yeah, it's still really good. It's still better than Convalescence.
Convalescence, it's good.
Yeah, it's still Convalescence. So where am I here? Just going to go down to the AoE really quick. So Quick Knock, as we mentioned before.
Go.
We had...
Does the thing.
It does it where you can get Rain of Death or Bloodletter.
Yep.
And then Apex Arrow. So this is where your new gauge comes from. Delivers an attack of potency of 450 to all enemies in a straight line before you with no fall off. Soul gauge is a minimum cost of 20. Potency increases. Soul voice gauge exceeds required cost.
It consumes the whole bar.
Whatever's
no matter
in
what
it.
you have.
Whatever's in it.
Yeah. I don't know how much it scales up, but
yeah,
it's anything like old upheaval. It's gonna do like 10 billion damage.
It's gonna be a lot of damage. So you're gonna be when you use this, you're gonna be doing some a good bit of damage here.
This is a weapon skill. Obviously. It's like a GCD.
Yeah. So these are all pretty much straightforward. Like we said, straight shot. You cannot use it as a physical ability like normal. It has to require. Yeah, it is a proc.
One thing to note is burst shot is 35% chance of straight shot ready.
Whereas heavy is 20%. That's also correct.
So in addition to the increased damage.
Yeah, Refulgent Arrow is basically just cooler looking. Gates of Babylon, higher potency straight shot basically now.
It's 360.
Right
now.
Bloodletter is still.
So it's up by 6 votes.
Bloodletter is still pretty much the same. Shares a recast timer with Rain of Death. Pitch Perfect still functions. Sidewinder
is like the same.
Functions the same, and then Shadow Bite is basically AOE Sidewinder.
I think the potency numbers for one of these, because Shadow Bite's literally better.
It's literally better. I believe the potency numbers
even on
will
single
be,
target.
Yeah, exactly.
So I feel like
Shadow Bite will be decreased, or Sidewinder will be increased.
I feel like Sidewinder will be higher because Sidewinder is currently exactly the same as Live.
Yeah, but more or less from what we could tell, Bard is pretty much.
The Army's Pound thing.
Oh, Army's Pound, right? We have to go to that.
Where was it? It's on the traits.
Army's Pound. There we go. Okay, so what? So we have a trait for Army's Pound. I'm going to go back to it here. That makes it more useful. Now, when I'm reading it at first, I'm thinking, oh, this is just a big wall of text. Can't really understand what's going on here. So break it down. What is this? What does this trait allow for us to do.
Basically, what this does, right, is after when you swap to another song, right? I believe is exactly what it is, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
you get a buff, right? That basically lets you retain part of the speed buff that you get from being in Army's Peon
Mhm.
in whichever next thing that you choose to go into.
So most likely you're gonna want to go into.
So like, and if you have all 4 stacks, you get 12% speed. So it's to encourage you to stay in Army's Peon, even though still bad.
Yeah, it's still not great, but it still rewards you for.
Still doesn't like increase your damage or anything. It just makes you go fast.
But it
But,
also it also has a nice buff. Whereas if you just let it fall off and like let's say the boss leaves or something, you still have a 30-second duration where you can basically
Yes.
activate the army's ethos buff, and then you still retain the buff for the remaining duration. As far as I read it correctly. So four stacks of repertoire, 12%. 3 is 4%. 2 is 2%. 1 is 1%. In terms of the spellcast time, recast time, reducing weapon skill cast time, auto attack delay, all of that sort
So
of
basically,
attack speed, spell speed type of stuff.
Yeah, so basically when you're, depending on, so if you just straight up swap, it gives you 10 seconds of the buff into the next phase.
Whereas if you
And
let it drop off completely...
if it falls off, and you can wait up to 30 seconds to collect your, like, 10-second thing.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like
how
you
this
get the
works?
remaining duration. Okay.
Allowing, to expire without singing will grant you Army's Ethos. While it affects Army's Ethos, singing Mage's Ballad or Wonders Minuet grant Army's Muse. Doesn't actually say what Army's.
So basically, what
Army's Muse is just the 10-second duration. Okay, yeah. It still just works.
Yeah, it basically just works. So in the event that you
But,
massively mess up your songs, you still have the ability to recover the thing you worked for in Army's Pale back, as it were.
Yes.
So that's pretty much it for
That's all
Bard.
Bard.
From the looks of it, it's still going to play the exact same, just has a little bit more,
Very similar.
which is good because its actual kit was arguably one of the best.
It's actually like there's still the RNG thing, but it's a bit less RNG, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But it still retains its identity, which is what we wanted to see. Its kit overall is more or less going to have the same playstyle, which a lot of people liked, and it was arguably probably. I have no clue how this job works
What, Dancer?
in Dancer.
Okay.
I looked at the tooltips. There was a lot of text. I don't know what's going on.
Well, traits.
All I know is that there's some traits. Some things stack up to 4. Some things get a third stack. I know this one.
So
This is the dash. I know that one.
Fourfold Fantasy is the it lets you use the fan moves, right? And you get 4 stacks.
The
of
4
fan
blades of
moves,
the fan.
up to 4 stacks of fan moves. The en avant is the dash. Damage, obviously en avant. Dash again. Spirit from your dance partner.
Yeah, that's the bar below the fan. It's basically, from what I know, like kind of like how chakras work for Monk, where you just get something from somebody else, but except it's a specific person.
There's the feather thing. There's feathers. There's the spirit thing is like your gauge. It's like your samurai gauge, basically. It's just like.
Oh, is it just samurai?
It's kimchi.
It's kimchi. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the gauge here.
I believe.
I believe that's how it works. So basically, you can expend these
Something like
these
that.
feather things for high potency abilities
Yes,
as well.
they are big moves, and they're big moves that have a chance of proccing a bigger move.
A bigger
but they're
move.
not like super big. They're just your filler option GCDs.
Yeah. Okay, so then we got
So basically, you have your standard. You got your red to blue combo, right?
so Cascade into Fountain.
Yeah, that's like the normal.
Okay.
And then when you, it's kind of like Red Mage, where like when you use the first move, you have a chance of like, or when you use like the white mana move, you have a chance of proccing like the better white mana move, right?
Yeah.
It's like that, where you use the first one, you have a chance of proccing the better first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
And
have
then
the
same
second.
with the second one, and then those two also have a 50% chance of proccing a feather,
Okay.
which lets you use the fan dance, which is down below. And then if you go just scroll down, AOE is exactly the same.
Yeah. So the fan dance 1, 2, and 3.
AOE is exactly the same stuff as single target, where it just does thing, procs better thing, and also combos into the second one, which also procs better version of itself.
Yeah. And once.
And then
Yeah.
Fan Dance 1, single target. Chance of proccing to be able to use Fan Dance 3. And then Fan Dance 2 is AoE around you with a chance of proccing Fan Dance 3. And Fan Dance 3 is ranged. It's basically you just chuck a stronger Fan Dance 2 across the map.
Okay. Got you. That definitely makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And then with utility, we got Shield Sama, which is basically
2 minutes.
It's 2 minutes.
So hard one is the worst.
So far from what we see, we don't know what the machinist one is.
Machinist one is 2 minutes.
The machinist one's 2 minutes too. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Flourish grants. It basically instantly grants the effects of.
It grants you all of your
empowered abilities. Your flourishing abilities.
It literally gives you all the procs.
Yeah.
Right.
On a 60-second recast time, which seems a bit good.
4 procs. I mean, 2 of them you don't even use. They're like AoE, I guess.
Yeah.
Are they worth using? Hold up. Wait, maybe. They're worth using.
Yeah, you just
On
spam them all,
target.
right?
They're literally the same as using like your base comp. But I mean, I guess. No, they are worth using. Actually, wait. They were even worth using on single target.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, as long as you're in range, right?
As long as you're in range,
Because
obviously.
they give you a chance of getting the feather.
Mm-hmm.
But they're better. Wait, oh, super good.
Yeah. Super
That's
good.
really cool.
And then in terms of the whole
The
dance partner thing. So basically, close position is just a cast where you pick a partner.
Yeah. This is your swap your partner move.
Yep. Saber Dance is the buff that it's just your set and forget buff. They get 30% crit rate, 30% direct hit rate for 15 seconds. It's on a 2-minute cooldown.
What's the 2-minute cooldown buff? I don't even know anymore.
It's Saber. It's the direct hit.
I mean, other ones.
Oh, the other ones. Oh, okay.
I don't even know anymore. Like, what other jobs even have 2 minutes anymore?
And then you have Curing Waltz, which
So this does a little heal around. It's 3 yalms. It's literally melee. If everyone in melee range of you gets healed, and everyone in melee range of your partner. Okay. You know, in League of Legends, the champion called Taric.
Yeah.
It's basically Taric Q.
Yeah. It's
where
Taric
you have it tethered to someone else, and then it heals around them in a little circle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like really small.
So typically, you want to put this on.
It only heals for a little bit.
So the benefit of this, utility-wise, is you would want to put it on a melee DPS.
Yeah, so if this is on a melee, right, and if you really want the healing, I don't know if you actually get multiple applications if you and the party member are on top of each other. I have no idea if that.
I'm pretty sure it works pretty similar to Plenary, where everyone has
like,
their own stack and that's it.
I don't know, dude.
It may be broken.
Like,
who knows?
They could just be broken.
It could just be completely stupid.
But yeah, it's basically Taric Q from League of Legends.
Yeah, and then we have the Spirit gauge. So you have improvisation, which is a.
Spirit is the kimchi. That's what it was.
It's just Genki from Samurai.
Yeah.
And then you basically use it on that super like.
Use it on this thing. Yep.
The super cut move.
Yes.
And then at the fan dance, we have a dash that's on a 3 charge thing as well, but it just dashes you forward. That's it. It does. There's no target. It just
It
goes forward
like
10 yalms.
yalms or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually say that, but it should. weird.
And then,
Oh, yeah.
so basically, from what I can tell, is that you got a 4-step combo, and then a 2-step combo, which are kind of like Simon Says.
They're exactly Simon Says.
So they're all different colors, which is just fantastic for someone who sees the
They-
green and the yellow ability, and they look very similar. And I
So
just
the
need to
way
look
it
for a
works-
leaf or crown.
Well, they replace when you click a step, it replaces your 4 combo things, the red, blue, green, yellow, with the steps of red, blue, green, yellow.
Okay, so that's why they had
Yeah.
very little buttons on their bar.
So you can't really do GCDs in between because there's no GCDs to press. You
Yeah.
have to press these, or they're
Yeah, but these are all Mudras anyway, and you're obviously gonna want to
you're
complete
gonna
this
be
beforehand.
smashing them all at once, basically.
Yeah,
And
and
you have to play the games.
yeah, and even if you mess up, you can still complete the dance.
Even if you get 0, it still does damage, and it still does like a crappy buff, but it's still a buff.
Yeah, it's still a buff. And then you
Well, the one
have
technical finish is,
yeah, so you have the technical step, and then you have the technical
Standard.
finish, standard step, standard finish. Technical step is the 4-part, standard is the 2-part. If I'm correct.
Standard, I believe, buffs you and your partner.
We're talking about standard finish here, correct?
Standard finish, yeah.
So
Well, the whole thing is it's like one ability, right?
So standard finish delivers an attack to all nearby enemies. Potency
Does
varies.
1k, right?
Does 1k for 2 steps, yeah. Grants standard
Right.
finish and Esprit to self and party members under the effect of close position.
So
your partner. Yeah.
Right. And then the damage bonus, the % damage bonus depends on how many. So if you don't get any, you get no bonus. But if you get them both every time, you have a
5% damage boost
100% uptime, 5% damage boost on somebody.
on somebody, and then you have a 15-second AoE balance on everyone else on the 4-step ability.
That also does 1500 potency.
That does 1500 potency for some reason. it just does a lot of damage.
Just cause, why not?
But there is obviously clipping involved. But it seems like the job is basically focused
That's
around
what
your
it
partner, and basically making sure you get these steps right.
Even if you're clipping all of that, it is 1500 potency.
Yeah, it's a
It's
a lot.
1500 potency and gives your whole party AoE balance. Like,
Yeah, it's a bit good. I'd want a dancer. I want to be the partner. I mean, I'm playing
It
tank,
also, like-
but I want to be the partner.
It also gives everyone a spirit or esprit or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, to self and party members, so you basically
Yeah,
gain
just
more
everyone.
gauge.
That's the damage buff is esprit, I believe. Right?
Yeah, and then you can just basically use it on devilment over and over and over again, which is a GCD, right?
Yeah.
It is a GCD.
It is a weapon skill, yes.
Yeah.
It is an actual GCD, yes.
Yeah, and then your partner is 30 ohms in order to change them. So basically, you can change them from across the room, most likely.
Further than you can attack.
Okay, so that makes it a lot easier to kind of.
Oh yeah, the improvisation
Understand.
thing.
Yep.
Kind of skipped over it. It's basically the samurai meditate, but also increases like healing potency around you.
Yeah, so this can be used if you're able to stand still for a little bit of time when you're just dealing
And
with mechanics.
It generates more esprit. The more people are in your like
6
healing
yalm radius.
increase zone.
Yeah, so basically, if you can use this and get away with standing there for as much time as you can before you have to start doing like a mechanics phase or something.
It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's very good.
Alright, so that's Dancer.
That's that.
And then lastly, we're going on to our third new job. Nobody's ever heard of this one before. It's called Machinist.
Yeah, dude, it definitely didn't main it. Don't
completely
worry
new
about it.
job. Completely new job.
Definitely didn't main it in Heavensburg.
No, they didn't make it in Heavensworth. They didn't change it in Stormblood. It's a completely new job.
They didn't make it absolute garbage. Or anything.
Apparently, head graze is a trait for some reason. in the picture here. That's quite funny. So all of your clean shot, your slug shot, your split shot go to the heated versions by default
Heated
at
is
level
just
64.
automatic. Yeah.
Yeah. Your
Gauss
Gauss
round
round and Ricochet go up to charges of 3 with the trade at 74, usually with 2. Hotshot is upgraded to Iron Anchor. We'll get onto that later.
Yep.
Wildfire improves potency increase for landing weapon skills to
it starts
150,
at-
so
I think it starts at 100.
I believe it does. And then at level 80, your auto rook turret is upgraded to
A
Hero
robot.
Queen.
a robot.
Yeah.
You get to use the future.
Yeah, pretty much.
In terms of its combo and battery,
It's actually a combo.
So there's no props. So that's step one.
It's
They listened.
The best.
They were like,
change
okay, what do people not like about
in my
Machinist?
life.
Yeah, what do people like about Machinist? Well, you see, the 50%
like to
thing
shoot
sucks. With Dancer,
We
it seems
like
like it's gonna work
Yeah. It's 'cause
But-
it's Red Mage.
because it's Red Mage, and that works.
Yeah, the Red Mage one
Whereas
kind of works.
This didn't work because you needed that gauge definitely in
If
order
you
to
didn't have
do stuff.
ammo, you weren't job.
Yeah, you didn't do anything.
So now
It's
they
basically
can
like
do
walking
ammo
around with a gun
entirely.
with no ammo in it. It's all talk,
Yeah.
no show.
Just throw my gun at you, easy.
Yeah, deal 6 potency.
Yeah,
Blunt
nothing.
damage, by the way.
Yeah.
So then you got the heated split, heated slug, heated clean shot, all of which increase heat gauge at their normal forms and regular forms by 5. And the combo finishers increase your battery gauge by 10.
Clean this battery. Yeah.
So let's move on to the battery gauge. So in the battery gauge, you have Hotshot, which I think is 40-second. It's an instant cast. It's a weapon skill.
It's now yeah. It's one of those jank.
Yeah, it's a weird recast timer. Delivers an attack with potency of 200, increases battery gauge by 20, and that's it. It just gives you battery gauge for this.
Gets auto upgraded to air anchor.
Yeah, to air anchor, which basically just does double the amount of damage
Yep.
and gives you the same amount of
That's
battery.
it.
And I believe
It's the
that's the
same
one in the
skill.
trailer where he takes out this big like item, this big like gun
It's the
thing.
one where like all the chains go everywhere.
Is that the
ground.
the chain one?
Yeah.
Or is that the one where he shoots like a bunch of different drills, like harpoons
That's,
out? Or is that a
that's
different
down here
ability?
somewhere. That is auto crossbow.
Auto
That's
crossbow.
overheat
That would make
ability.
more sense.
That's
They do
AoE
look like
overheat
crossbows.
ability.
Yeah, they do look like crossbows.
Yeah.
Bioblaster as a dot over time, which can be used to gain 10 battery gauge. Shares a recast timer with drill. Drill is basically single target. Bioblaster AoE.
Yep.
And Bioblaster's dot is it's a smaller dot, but it
60. So it's what? It's 5 ticks. That's what 300, 350 on one. So you need 2 targets. Okay.
yeah. So basically 2 targets use Bioblaster, 1 target use drill. That's pretty much it.
Is that actually right? What the hell? Wait,
Yeah, because
that is right. What the hell?
yeah, because 5
That's a
times
strong-
60
that's a
is
strong
300
dot there.
plus
That's a pretty good
50.
skill.
Yeah. Drill looks
Yeah, okay, it's
Drill looks
too,
flashy.
Drill
It's like
looks
this-
sick though.
Yeah, it's like this big explosive bit.
burst. It is they are both weapon skills.
Yeah, it's basically what
They are
happens
like the
when you
GCD,
piss off
like
your
they're like the
toolkit.
jank GCD. They're jank GCDs, just
Yeah.
like the other thing.
It's basically what happens when you piss off your toolkit.
Yeah.
It just the bits start flying at you basically.
Okay. Turret.
So the overload delivers an attack with potency. This is still the explosion thing. Potency increases with
Turrets
remaining
are
battery gauge of time and
very
deployment.
different. Yeah. So the
Yeah.
turret, it's not like a permanent pet. It's like you have this battery gauge, and you use 50 of it to summon a turret, and then it just attacks for like what 15 seconds,
Yeah, it is 15.
depending on
seconds.
battery gauge, right?
Yeah.
And then it just blows up.
And then it blows up, which you can also trigger beforehand. So if like the
manual-
phase is going to end or something like that, like boss is going to leave,
It
and
will automatically blow up though if you don't do it.
it'll automatically blow up if you don't do it. But if
Which
you
is-
wanted to activate it beforehand, let's
A
say the
lot
boss
more-
is leaving at 10 seconds into the timer, then you
It's
can
a lot more
load
than
up
just
before
press the button and it goes,
that.
which is nice.
Yeah. In terms of the robot,
The queen upgrade, yeah, it just
yeah, basically the robot does
It does like double damage, lasts longer, has a dash that does more damage, and then does the big explosion at the end.
Yeah. Does it use these abilities by itself?
The punch, yeah.
So
The
it
dash,
it
yeah.
initially
it's like the same as all the pets are just autopilot now.
yeah. So basically, it dashes in automatically,
Yep,
and then it just
start
starts
wailing-
and then just starts punching,
pummeling this thing at 1.5 GCD
and then it just blows up,
nonstop. And then it'll do the pile bunker thing, and it'll
Yeah.
just despawn.
and it just blows up.
That doesn't make. I mean, it blows up.
Yeah. It blows up everything in front of it basically.
Yeah, that's.
And then we go on to overheat. So, hypercharge. Release the energy building in your firearm, causing it to overheat. 8 seconds. Effect extends effect duration if firearm is already overheated.
Yep.
So
you can like double it, I guess.
yeah. So basically, overheat lasts.
I don't know
8
if you'd ever do that. I don't know if you want to do that. You probably want the robot, because I don't know if the robot weapon skills count, but they are weapon skills for
wildfire.
wildfire. So I don't know if they count or not, but
We need
They
someone
do.
who's very good at math to do it.
we need someone. We need to get the game and me to click wildfire and then a robot and just have it punch and see if it does damage.
Yeah, exactly.
If it does 0 damage, then it doesn't do any damage. Then it doesn't count.
But it seems, it seems basically like you're just going to use the thing that I want to know is that
Heat blast, 100%.
yeah,
You use 5 heat blasts.
you just heat blast, and then you basically, and it reduces the recast
spam
of both
Gauss.
round and
spam
ricochet
Gauss.
by 15 seconds. So you're just spamming basically a heat blast, use Gauss round ricochet, heat blast, Gauss round ricochet, heat blast, Gauss round ricochet until you're out of those.
Well, you can't really double weave them in a 1.5. So you basically like make sure you don't have 3 already of both of those, which
Yeah.
you shouldn't. And then you like press heat blast, then you Gauss round, then you press heat blast, then you ricochet, then you press heat blast, you alternate.
Yeah. So basically, what you want to do is
Most likely.
you want to have what would it be? 5 of them going into it. You want to have 2 of one and 3 of another.
No,
Or
because you'll lose
4?
half of you need 4 like you need them to be at
2 and 2.
2 and 2, but like also not within. Honestly, you might want like 2 and 1.
Yeah, not within like over half
Because
its
you're
time
gonna
of
use-
recharging
Yeah,
it, basically.
because you're gonna get a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
For one of them, you're gonna get a whole charge before you get to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then auto crossbow is basically the AoE version of overheat. Instead of heat blast, you would
Yes.
use this in a
You just-
situation where you have 2 or more targets.
It just doesn't do the other
yeah.
thing.
AoE spread shot, so it increases your heat gauge by 5, which is before. Flamethrower is a 60-second recast. Basically, it's just a 10-second duration, so
You still just hold it, and it still like ticks super fast. I think they upped the potency again.
yeah.
It's got nothing to do with any heat stuff at all, even though it's a flamethrower.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out when would be a situation where you would use this.
Big trash bolts, probably. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, because you would just still use spread shot, right? If that's the case.
I don't know. Maybe. Does it do something?
It doesn't look like it does anything.
Well, I know it ticks really fast, right? So it is like. It probably is actually doing like 200 per GCG instead of 100. So maybe it is actually more than spread shot.
It delivers
I don't know.
damage over time to all enemies in a cone. So basically, you just use it, and then it just puts a dot on somebody.
Does
Puts a
it?
10-second dot, I think.
No, it says effect ends upon using another action. It's literally the same where you currently. Right?
So this skill just sucks.
No, I'm pretty sure because it's potency of 100, right, per
Yeah.
tick, right? But
So
it's
this-
not a regular GCD tick, if I remember flamethrower. Because you know current flamethrower on with the heat gauge, and it ticks really fast.
Yeah.
Every tick of that is a damage tick for flamethrower. Flamethrower just ticks.
So this
faster
ticks like
than
one every
everything.
1.5 seconds. So it's more like 600 then.
I think so.
Okay,
I
so
think
you
it
would just
is
use
actually
flamethrower first, then
it's
you spread shot.
Slightly better, yeah.
Yeah, so then you use spread shot afterwards. Okay, if that's how it works.
If that's how it is, then yeah, not
Yeah.
whatever.
Gauss round and
don't use
ricochet,
that.
like we said, 3 charges. Gauss round is single target. Ricochet for AOE.
They literally just made them the same, but like
Yeah.
yeah.
Tactician, same as shield samba. Barrel stabilizer gives you,
Just increases your gauge by 50.
yeah, it just increases it to 50 like it did
Instead of
before.
setting it to 50, it increases it by
Yeah.
50.
Reassemble, it's now a 5-second duration.
Direct hit.
Yeah, so but it's a crit direct hit instead of just a crit.
Yep.
Which is quite,
Crits aren't good enough.
yeah, crit direct hit is where it's at.
Even though life surge is still.
And then we got Wildfire, which basically covers the target's body in a slow burning pitch. Action is changed to Detonator for the duration of the effect. Detonator can just use the action
You can
preemptively.
end it early if it's gonna leave.
Yeah. Deals damage when time expires or upon executing Detonator. Potency is increased by 150 for every weapon skill landed prior to the end of the effect. Duration 10 seconds. So that includes your weapon skills,
Yeah,
not your
weapon
abilities.
skills. Just weapon skills.
So Ricochet and Gauss round do not count because they're
Basically,
abilities.
You can probably get 6 in that 10 only because of hypercharge and heat blast. Because you can get 5 within the 8 second. So maybe you can get 6 within the 10 second. I don't know. It'd be. I think you can make it.
Do we?
It depends.
There must be a trait where it says what overheat actually does because it doesn't actually show it here. I think we may have.
Because I believe you can do like 5 heat blasts and then drill within wildfire, which is yeah. Wait, so what are you looking? What, overheat?
Yeah, overheat.
Oh, it just increases your damage by like a bunch, right? Sure.
Because it doesn't actually show it in like a.
It doesn't actually say like anywhere.
Yeah, but I assume it's something along the lines of.
It lets you use these abilities, right? You can only use these abilities when overheated. It makes your recast time 5.
Oh, super fast.
For
Okay,
the-
so
for those
that's
skills, only
Yeah.
for those skills. But like, it lets you use those broken abilities, basically.
so basically you want to use hypercharge when you're overheated, in accompaniment. So you want to overheat and use wildfire at the same time.
You want a wildfire, then overheat, right?
Yeah.
'Cause it's 10 and 8.
Well, you can
And you
overheat.
probably want. I think you do want the automaton out as well. I feel like its weapon skills count. I'm not sure, but I feel like they do. I feel like wildfire's just stupid. And
Well, the thing is,
it's like 10 billion damage.
if your overheat lasts 8 seconds, right? You want to overheat. You then want to go to, into your wildfire and then increase your overheat timer. If I had to guess, so it lasts longer.
Again, unless the queen counts as weapon skills, because they are weapon.
It's
in which
considered
case-
it's considered as a weapon skill. Roller
Well,
dash
then-
is a weapon skill. Arm punch is
Yeah.
a weapon skill.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
Pile
like,
debunker is not, but it's still
doesn't matter.
weapon
That's
skill.
gonna be
So
afterward.
yeah, so you still want it to. In theory, it
'Cause,
seems like that's
so
the way it would
like,
be.
I feel like you're gonna want to like drill, like you're gonna want to like wildfire, drill, hypercharge, and then just do 5 heat blow.
Yeah.
With your robot out,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, something like that, and like pressing the abilities in between, but
Yeah.
they don't count towards the.
So overall, I would say that range is probably the second closest thing to the tanks in terms of, hey, look, all of these roles have their own different identities. They have their own utilities. They have completely different playstyles, but they're all cool at the same time. They all have their own.
Range is cool now.
Yeah, range is pretty cool on tanks.
Range is actually cool now.
Yeah. Moving on to everyone's lovely neighborhood melee DPS. So we got Second Wind, Feint, Bloodbath, and Arm's Length, all and Leg Sweep, all effectively the same thing. Obviously, apart from Arm's Length's cooldown. But True
Yeah,
North,
True North.
probably
Yeah.
the best ability ever made. No, but in all seriousness, 10-second duration.
unless every
2
boss is a
charges.
circle boss.
Well, yeah, then it sucks. But 2
it's
charges.
used-
Does it really need
Yeah.
2 charges?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Just one, just somebody probably mentioned it from across the room at the water cooler. Like, yeah, I should
why
have 2
not?
charges. And the Yoshi's, oh
Yeah.
yes, this is good.
Why not? I mean, take it.
Yeah,
Take what you can get.
yeah. All of these abilities pretty useful. For range, for Dragoon, pretty simple traits here. The Lance Mastery still functions the same with the 4th and 5th part of the combo. Life of the Dragon still functions the same, except for its duration is up to 30 seconds.
It was always up to 30 seconds, but it starts at 30 seconds with the new trait now.
With the new trait, yep.
Yep.
Lance Mastery 2 increases the potency of True Thrust to 290 and Vorpal Thrust to 350, and then grants Raiden Thrust after Fang and Claw is executed following a Wheeling Thrust, which is an off GCD.
6th part of your combo.
Oh, I thought it was an off GCD. I mean, we'll see, but...
No, it's literally a weapon skill. It's literally.
Oh, it's a weapon skill? Okay. Well, that's still cool. I knew it had to be one of 2.
6-part combo now, dude.
I blame whoever does the job trailers because they do things so slowly that you don't know what's what. It's like, is that a weapon skill? Is it an off GC? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can't really tell for some of them.
And then Jump Mastery, Jump is upgraded to High Jump, which is just, it does more damage.
Super Sonic High Jump.
Yeah, it does more damage as well. So in terms of their abilities, so the combo, we got True Thrust, which just does damage, and then it extends into both your combos. So you're always going to start with True Thrust now. Vorpal Thrust.
Yep.
Does damage. Disembowel basically gives you your piercing back. Your old piercing, your 10%.
Gives you your heavy thrust back.
Or gives you your heavy thrust back.
It's 24 seconds and everything. It's literally the same, right?
Yeah. Full Thrust always grants Fang and Claw. Chaos Thrust still always does Wheeling Thrust. The dot on Chaos Thrust was slightly buffed as well. And then you have your Raiden Thrust, which is a cast instant, but the recast is the same as weapon skill, so it is a 6th part of the combo.
And it has no position.
No positional, it just does damage.
Yep.
Which we will obviously always take.
Wait, how long
jumps.
does Raiden Thrust Ready last? It's not a combo, I don't think. It's just Raiden Thrust. It's like the monk stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Fang and Claw, but I don't know if it actually goes away. Hold on.
Just check the trait.
Doesn't actually say.
No, it doesn't say.
Useless trait.
If I had to guess, it's probably the length of what a GCD would be if you don't do it.
It's probably just Fang and Claw where you like have to use it or you lose.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
So then we got Jump, which basically seems to function the same. Grants Dive Ready.
Made it better. High Jump.
The High Jump, they return you to your original position.
Always did that.
Spine Shadow Dive no longer grants Dive Ready. It's just 60 seconds damage. Just
yeah.
You jump to your target. It's a gap closer.
It's just a gap closer.
Mirage Dive now works the same, except for you only need 2 eyes to go into
I feel
Life
like
of
that's
the Dragon.
a higher potency number.
For
like
Mirage Dive,
220 or
probably. I want to say it was around 210.
Yeah, it's like 210, 220, and now it's like 250, but
Yeah.
everything's like slightly higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 210.
And then Dragonfire Dive is obviously the same old.
Yeah,
same old.
It's 860 more potency.
Yeah. Then we got good old Piercing Talon. I don't know why I find that funny. It's just the picture always makes me laugh.
Yeah, sure. It's Piercing Talon.
It takes me back to those days when you're by the Hawthorne hut and you're trying to kill those level 17 dudes that just murk you and you have to pull them away one by one. Then you got your AoE, so it's Doom Spike into Sonic Thrust, which increases your Blood of the Dragon by 10 seconds.
It's the same.
And then Korthan Torment does the same thing. It also increases
it. Just does more damage.
Yes, it just does more damage. That was the one that had like the cool, like blue-looking animation in the action trailer.
Yeah, spinny dragon lasers.
Yeah, mini dragon lasers. So in terms of utility, Battle Litany is
Lance Charge.
Oh, Lance Charge is it's just all blood for blood, but except you don't take damage.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
No more Florgoon.
Yeah, no more. It's just gonna do damage now. Dragon Sight is still the same range, same duration. Battle Litany is just slightly nerfed. I believe it was 15%.
5%. Same as Chain.
Yeah,
Chain
same
strike.
same as chain, except chain's 2 minutes.
Yeah, but same nerf.
Yeah, but this gives you just crit to everyone, whereas chain only
Yeah,
gave you crit to
chain
one
is, like,
target.
Target
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Life Surge ensures critical damage for the first weapon skill used while Life Surge is active.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same as before. I believe at one point it had a 60-second recast, but I think they lowered that during the expansion. From what I
It is
remember.
currently 50. Now it's gonna be 40.
45.
And it just says restores own HP here,
Yeah.
whereas currently it says heals up to 10% of your max HP. So
they
maybe
made-
it'll heal more. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's just random number. We have no idea.
And then Blood of the Dragon increases potency of Jump and Spine Shatter Die by 30%. And then obviously grants all the normal things
Yeah,
there
it gives
as
all
well.
the buffs, and then
And then
Yep.
lastly, we got Gear Skogul. So you have to use this to get into Life of the Dragon. You then can use Nestrond. Also, one thing we forgot to mention about Life of the Dragon, when you go into Life of the Dragon, your level 78 trait makes it so that it goes up to 30 seconds instantly.
Yep.
So you get 3 Nestronds
you
always.
start right at 30. Like, yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah, it makes it so that you don't have to do that
Such a-
extra combo,
such a
those
big
extra 2
deal.
weird GCDs to get the right amount
Yeah,
of...
you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for any janky GCD if your skill speed's messed up. You just instantly press the button.
Yeah,
You're good.
exactly. That's basically how it's working.
I feel like that's a higher number too.
What was it, the Nestron number? Yeah, probably. And then Star
That is not the right Nestrond.
Stardiver.
Oh, it's way higher.
You basically get one of these
70.
in your Life of the Dragon. It's an
One
Nidhogg
per-
dive.
one
And it's
per
550, but it has a fall off of 30% for all remaining enemies.
30% less.
30% less, so 70%
That
effective.
wording is weird. Because they've been doing 7%. They just say 70, but this says 30% less.
Yeah.
I feel like that's weird. But maybe it's not.
it's weird. Some of them have 30% less. Some say 70%.
Some of them say
then,
like percent less, and some of them say they do 90%. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Overall,
That's
Dragoon
it.
pretty much
See.
is much like Bard in that it's just keeping its identity, adds a few little extra tools here and there.
I like it.
Yeah, pretty good.
Thumbs
Now
up.
on to Monk. So we go into the traits here. Grease Lightning, more or less, is Grease Lightning. Deep Meditation. We have Deep Meditation 2, so now it's 70% chance that a chakra
Instead
will
of
open up,
50, yeah.
dealing critical strike with a weapon skill, whereas before it was 50%. Enhanced Fist of Fire, improved Fist of Fire's damage increased to 10% instead of 5.
That's good.
Probably making up for a little bit of the blunt damage that you're losing off of Dragon Kick.
Tackle Mastery now instead of giving you all those stupid useless tackles,
It just gives you an extra charge.
a second charge.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then a level 76 ability, Rill of Wind, allows you to get your 4th Grease Lightning.
Go Ultra Instinct.
Yeah. So basically, you can go into Fist. You could use Rill of Wind, and then you can get your 4th Grease Lightning stack, and then you use Rill of Fire, and then you just go nuts.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Oh
basically.
yeah, and they're not like chained to the stance or
The
anything
stand.
anymore.
So it's not like when you hit Riddle of Fire, you go into Fist of Fire. It's not like you lose that
Nope.
4th stack of Grease Lightning. You still keep it.
Yeah, no, it's like stupid.
Combo. Monk's combo pretty much hasn't changed since 2.0, more or less. Boot Shine. Boot Shine and
It's all
Dragon
the
Kick
same,
go into True Strike and Twin Snakes, into Snap Punch and Demolish.
The only real difference is potency's obviously, but Dragon Kick giving Lead and Fist to buff Boot Shine is the
Yeah,
only real
so
difference.
basically what you want to do is you obviously still want to alternate your Dragon Kick and Boot Shine base combos.
Just
Typically what you do is you set it up with the Dragon
Forever.
Kick, Twin Snakes, Demolish, and then you follow that up with Boot Shine, True Strike, and then Snap Punch. More or less is what you're going to be doing. And then you basically alternate those because they work on a very similar time like that. Pretty much the same as what it was before, except you just get rewarded for actually paying attention to that.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah. In
Pretty
terms
much.
of AoE now, you have Armor the Destroyer, which then goes into the second part skill of 4-point Strike, which extends Twin Snake's duration by 10 seconds up to a maximum of 15, so you can still keep up Twin Snakes when you are AoEing.
Yup.
And then Rockbreaker is
They
obviously the
removed
third
the-
part of the combo, which you were just able to do before. So when you're
They
AoEing at
removed
first,
one ill punch for this skill.
Yeah, 1-0
I'd
punch.
take that trade off any day, dude.
Yeah, I think I would too. But before, basically your AoE rotation is going to be Armor Destroyer, Twin Snakes, Rockbreaker, and then you do this. Once you have up to, unless you have Twin Snakes up going into it previously.
Have the Oppo form potency, so it's actually like usable.
Yeah, exactly.
So it actually does damage instead of just doing absolute no damage.
And then Elixir Field, still the same. Pretty much. I think its damage is just less, slightly.
I think it's less.
It looks less.
Looks like less.
It looks a lot less.
But it's just like 220.
Yeah,
but it's 220 right now.
Yeah, but I think they made up for that with this ability called Enlightenment. Delivers an attack with a potency of 220 to all enemies in a straight line before you. Basically consumes all 5 chakra stacks. It's the Hadouken, basically. The Kamehameha, whatever you want to call it. And with the amount of weapon skills that you will be critting, or getting procs off of. Yeah, it's 70%. You're doing all right.
That's pretty dumb.
Stances, Fist of Fire, still pretty much the same without the trait. Trait puts up 10%.
10%. Yeah.
Fist of Wind still works the same. Fist of Earth still functions the same. Grease Lightning Management. You have Riddle of Earth, which basically when you take damage, it extends the duration. So it's
no longer puts you into Fist of Earth.
No, it's just an ability.
Now it just extends and gives you damage reduction.
Exactly.
Regardless of Fist of Earth.
Yeah. Anatman, so this is the one where the guy's sitting there meditating and we're like, holy crap, he's gaining Grease Lightning. What do you mean this exists?
Gaining lightning.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's just gaining it, which is a bit interesting. Six-sided star delivers attack potency of 400. This is just a recast that it doesn't share a recast time on any other actions, and you could just use it. But it has a longer. It has twice the recast time.
Doesn't share recast time with any other action, but upon execution. Recast timer for this action will be applied to all other.
Yeah.
So what that means is like, it still has a 5-second cooldown, right? But
your GCD also goes on 5 seconds.
When you press it, the GCD will become 5 seconds.
Rather than 2.5 base or whatever it is.
Like 1.7 or whatever the hell Grease Lightning 4 is going to be.
Yeah, so basically what you want to do is if you're going to miss a GCD...
Like a GCD or 2, you just press this and then...
Yeah, because it does 400 potency, so why not? You know?
It's and it extends your Grease Lightning to max duration.
Duration as well. Yep.
Super good.
And then we're going to go to the off GCD, so Shoulder Tackle, still 2 charges. Tornado Kick still functions the same. Forbidden Chakra still functions the same. The one thing I want to show as well, 1 second recast time on Forbidden Chakra.
Yep. Same with Enlightenment, by the way.
Yeah.
That's because they made it 70%, so like you can just spam this.
You need to be able to mash this thing on cooldown.
You need to be able to mash it.
Yeah.
Like
so it even has a lower recast time than Meditation itself, which is the hilarious thing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Mantra looks pretty much the same. I think it's 90 seconds instead of 120, unless it was previously buffed before.
I think they changed it a couple times. So.
Perfect Balance is 2 minutes. I remember that was buffed to 1 minute in Stormblood. Here it looks like it's 2 minutes. So nerf on
that sounds more reasonable.
Nerf on that.
You don't need it.
Yeah, you don't need
you have a Knot Man.
Yeah, exactly.
And Star and all these other dumb things.
Form Shift looks pretty much the same. Riddle of Fire still functions the same, but doesn't put you in Fists of Fire.
Mantra is exactly the same.
So, so basically I can't, where's Riddle of Wind? Is Riddle of Wind when you change to Fists of Wind?
Yeah, it's being in Fists of Wind, I believe, is Riddle of Wind. It just gives you, when you're in Fists of Wind, you have
a 4th
stack to be able to get.
So what you do is you're gonna go into Fists of Wind. You're gonna use your Riddle of Fire. You're gonna do all your burst. Then you're gonna switch back to Fists of Fire. I would think. I think math-wise it probably works out.
It depends on how much the 4th stack gives you for speed.
Yeah, and we won't know that until we actually
Because there's no TP, so it's not like you're gonna be running out of TP.
Yeah, you just go.
You might as well just go fast.
So Speed Monk might actually be a thing.
Like Speed Monk, I mean, I don't. You probably get down to 1.5 really fast.
Yeah,
So,
probably.
I don't know.
And then Brotherhood still functions pretty much the same. So that's pretty much it for Monk there. More or less another job, just like Dragoon, where it's keeping its same identity, little extra tools given to it to cover up its weaknesses and shore up its strengths.
Yep.
Penultimately, we are moving on to Ninja. Now, Ninja has one of the funnier looking traits. It's got all fours and fleet foot and all that stuff. So one of the traits is Mug. Instead of 30 Ninki, it gains 40, so an increase of 10. Shikuchi allows you to get 2 charges instead of 1.
Yep. It still resets.
Still resets.
Raiton and Hyoton.
It
so
does.
You can reset a stack still.
Enhanced Kasatsu now allows you to use the basically bigger Katan and bigger Hyoton. Hyoton being it's a single target.
Now usable skill.
Yeah. Now usable Mudras. It doesn't say use the now usable skill because it is a completely different skill, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's single target versus AoE.
It's the same buttons
Yeah.
though.
And then at level 78, you get 8 Ninki gauge.
They changed Ninki to weapon skills.
Yeah, versus auto attacks, which is obviously better.
Yes. Or
Love
successfully completing combos. Wait, do you get like double for the combo finisher?
Or success. So maybe you get 16. on the
Maybe you
combo.
get 12. You get like 16. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
don't know.
it seems like you get 12 on this.
You
too.
got like a boatload, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
I couldn't really.
All
tell
I
from the
know is
video.
when they had the Bunshin Ninja out, it was going nuts in the trailer.
It was going super fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So combo, even though it says Gut Slash, this is actually a 2-step combo. It's
a
Spinning
two-part,
Edge and the
yeah.
Shadow
They
Fang.
They literally put it back.
Yeah, they put it back to what it was. It is a 2-step combo. This was confirmed in the
bunch
test
of things.
videos.
Yeah.
The test realm that they were playing at the media tour. Alien Edge still functions the same. Armor Crush still functions the same.
Yep.
The ninjutsu still all function the same.
Except for the new one.
Except for the new ones. So the new ones,
which are they're just the same things, but like
once the ice shurikens, the Hyoton is 550. The Katan is AoE. So AoE on 2+ targets, single target on 1.
It's another frog, but with no fall off.
Yeah. Suiton's duration, this is very important. Its duration is actually 20 seconds. So before it was 10 seconds, the Suiton buff stayed on you. Now it stays on you for 20 seconds. So I presume you're going to be able to do some shenanigans with one of your abilities, which we'll see in a second here, which is Meisui. Dispel Suiton, increasing the Ninki gauge by 40. So when you don't have Trick Attack, more damage.
Yep.
Pretty good. Shade Shift still functions the same. Hide still functions the same. Tenchi Jin, same recast timer, just doesn't cost Ninki anymore.
Yep, it's just free.
Yeah. Kasatsu has a 60-second charge time, but it has 2 charges. It basically resets the ninjutsu cast timer, and then does exactly what it did before, which is basically just
But
increasing its
charges
damage.
And it allows you to use the super moves.
Yeah, so basically you want to Kasatsu the super moves.
You want a Kasatsu Hyoton for single?
For single,
always?
yeah. And then for AoE, you have Death Blossom into Hake Minsatsu. I don't even know how to pronounce that. But basically, it's just, and it extends your Huton by 10 seconds, which is
Hake Mujin Satsu.
yeah, something like that. And then in terms of
AoE that
off
extends
GCDs, yeah, they buff Trick Attack. It's 100 potency more.
I mean, sure, whatever. The potencies don't matter anymore.
Yeah, obviously not, but it's still the same. As far as we know, Mug still has the same recast time. Dream Within a Dream, same potency, same recast, but it grants Assassinate Ready, which allows you to just basically get another free damage ability.
Assassinate is crit direct hit ability now.
Crit direct hit ability does not require an execute at all.
Minus 20%, the 20% thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And then lastly, onto the Ninki gauge. Hellfrog Medium just has a 1-second recast time, but it does cost 80.
Yeah. costs 80.
Bava also
But you
at
can
once.
actually get your gauge really fast. They
Yeah.
have 1 second.
Bava also has a 1 second recast time, so you'll just basically on single target, you'll just always be using Bava over using Hellfrog
Did
Medium.
nerf Frog.
Frog is
to
400 and then 50% less for all
50%
remaining enemies.
fall off now. Before it had no fall off.
Yeah. It's still good to
Yeah.
use on 2 targets or more, obviously.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, 600 versus 500. And then Bunshin, this is your ability, your 15-second duration
And then your
Ninja
Frog.
Buddy. And it actually does what the Dark Knight thing should do, probably. But costs 80, and then it basically mimics all of your weapon skills. So anything that is considered
Yeah,
a
so
weapon skill, it
the
will
thing is-
copy.
Bava doesn't have a cooldown anymore, but they did nerf it by 100 potency.
Yeah, so it does less damage, but
But it's you can use it every time, single target.
yeah.
Like, actually, you never have to use Frog ever again.
So
Single target.
Bunshin is the ninja thing, and basically you gain double the Ninki as well. Because everything is based off your weapon skills now,
Yeah,
not your auto attacks.
Yeah, it's all weapon skill based.
Yeah, it's all weapon
Wonder
skill
if they're
based.
finishing combos. So maybe. I wonder if it does. This might actually be even more OP than we thought.
Yeah, exactly. Which is probably why you want to use your dot during it as well.
If the combo thing, like you could use your dot as your like first move.
Yeah.
Your dot finisher is your first move of your Bunshin, and would that just give you like
Oh, apparently it does 2 dots as
36
well.
gauge?
Apparently,
just 2 dots.
apparently it
Oh,
applies
right.
2 individual dots as well.
Does 2 dots, and would it give you like 36 gauge instantly? That sounds dumb as hell.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure how it works, but it may also give you double Huton if you happen to use Armor Crush for whatever stupid reason.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Like, it just double extends.
Yeah, it just double extends.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
pretty
that sounds-
nutty as well. All right, Ninja.
It can AOE too, so like it's dumb AOE too.
Yeah,
It
it's-
copies your-
Yeah, it is. It
yeah,
is
no,
really good.
It's literally just so
Again, another job that pretty much lost some tools, but is now more focused on DPS, but still maintains its identity as this
Yeah.
shifty shadow type of crafty melee job. Samurais, I always laugh when I look at their traits because I'm just like they have like none.
Oh wait, Shadeshift is all types of damage now. I didn't even notice that.
Shade shift, yeah.
It's only physical right now.
Be nice to see Dark Shadow did something similar, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be. Basically, Dark Knight's one obviously just follows the
Yeah.
rotation, whereas Ninja's one actually follows. It does like a half-second delay, but it follows. It does your exact weapon skills. It does not do off GCDs though. It only does weapon skills.
Yeah.
So the Kenki Mastery 1 and 2, those are obviously the same as before. So you still get rewarded for hitting positionals on your weapon skills of your combo. Enhanced EI Jutsu, so now it's 1.3 seconds at level
From
74.
1.8 to 1.3.
So it's half a second off. And then your level 78 improves Jinpu's damage increase to 12% and Shifu's speed buff
Speed.
to 12% as well.
From 10. You're both 10.
And then Samurai, you just have Hakaze into your damage buff in Jinpu, speed buff in Shifu, and Yukikaze, which used to be your slashing, but now instead it increases your
It's a big gauge increase.
yeah, it's a big gauge
Instead of
increase,
being
so it basically
It
gives
was
you a 10
before,
extra.
and now it's 15.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not sure if these tooltips are correct or not, but oh no, they are. They have the side combo bonus. I saw one previously that didn't have the rear bonus for Gecko, but you still get
No,
rewarded for the
yeah.
positional as well. So you get an
Yeah,
extra,
yeah.
You get an extra 5.
Yeah.
Moving
Look it up.
on to the Kenki, so you still have your dash, you still have your step back, you still have your ranged ability, you still have Q10, your AoE,
Yep.
you still have Hisatsu Kaiten, Shinten, all functioning the same. Guren no longer has fall off and shares a
Yep.
recast timer with this interesting ability.
Then where you hit them with like the sheath.
You hit them with the sheath, which apparently increases the
And-
damage
and the
by a
sword.
billion.
So you hit
just
them with the sword and the sheath.
it does
That's how-
1250 potency for some reason.
That's normal, dude.
It's just- it's
that's not even dancer level, dudes. Garbage.
Not even dancer level. Just a billion damage. And then obviously your AoE combo still functions the same. Fuga into
No,
Mangetsu,
it's
Fuga into
actually
Oko.
better because now it extends.
It extends your
Shifu
buff
and
durations.
extends Shifu.
Yeah. So now
So
you
it's
can.
like super good.
So now if you go into a trash pool when you have the buffs already up, then you can
It's
still
just up
you can just
forever,
go.
dude.
Yeah.
It's great.
Which is
It's so nice.
quite nice.
That was the worst part about AoEing on Samurai, was having to put those up again.
Yeah. Now looking into utility here, Third Eye, I believe it's 10% instead of 5%.
But it doesn't. You can't. When you Merciful Eyes, you can't cut your hate.
It doesn't cut your hate now.
Yeah.
Uh,
But Seigan is buff.
yeah, Seigan you get a little bit more damage. Then we got Meditate, which basically goes into your level 80 ability, which basically gives you just a free damage ability. It's like the 1,000 cuts type of mini move afterwards. So basically you just use this if you can stand still when a boss is left the arena.
Yep.
Mekyo Shisui works similar, and then you just have an instant just get
This
50
is,
Kenki.
This is the Hagakure replacement because Hagakure was too good.
Exactly.
So they, but it was too good, but also like really janky.
Yeah, it was really hard to use. Mainly because of its recast timer being 40 seconds.
Bad, you're boned, so like.
Yeah. It was mainly because its recast timer was 40 seconds, which is the real problem.
And it gave you like 60 or something. Nuts.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, here's 50 on a 60,
Yeah.
and it's like, you just press it.
Yeah. And then last but not least, the EI Jutsus. So, Higanbana, Tenka Goken, and Midari Setsugeko, all following the same, probably slight potency increases on all of those.
Higanbana got a little bit, on the main hit, and then Tenka Goken has no fall off anymore.
No fall off as well.
Yeah. And then
all of the samurai abilities don't have any fall off at all.
Yeah.
On AoE.
Just none of them, dude.
And then there's this ability, so it takes Yeah, so this is it has a 60-second recast and has the same recast as using, the same cast as using EI Jutsu. And basically, it's just a Kaiten version of whatever you want to use. So typically,
whatever you just used, you get a Kaiten one again.
Yeah, exactly. So typically, you're not gonna do it
for free.
Yeah, for free, and you're typically never gonna use it on your dot unless you horribly messed up somewhere.
Unless you're hitting 2 targets.
That's true, and you're putting dots and they're gonna last more than 60 seconds. So maybe
no slashing, so you don't lose anything for applying it raw.
Yeah. And then obviously you have the Midari, which is just. Yeah, it's just they're all Kaiten versions of themselves. So it won't allow you to apply Kaiten on that either.
Yeah. You literally just press this right after you do your EI Jutsu.
Exactly. You just do them back to back, just like it showed.
Every minute for free. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is actually all of the jobs. So let's get a little recap on the melee. So more or less the melees are kind of same identities as before, just stronger overall. Nothing really too much to say there.
Yeah.
I feel like Samurai may be a bit more interesting now. It's just going to do a lot of damage, surely.
DPS have to do a lot of damage now. Healers have to heal a lot. Tanks have to do a lot of damage now.
Yeah. Basically, the healers are going to play to their...
Machinists have to do a lot of damage now. Like, everything, dude.
But now in the party finders, they're going to be like, well, I now have to be a Sylphie. I have all these abilities, why don't I use them? But overall, if I had to kind of give my thoughts, I would say probably the most balanced, just looking at it from just a sheer tooltip perspective, I would say we'll probably have our best bet with the tanks, then the ranged, then the melee, then the casters, then the healers at the very end. Mind you, the healers and casters, I can kind of group them into just the magical side of things. Yeah. They seem to be a bit off. I feel like Red Mage might need a little bit something else, and Scholar AoE-wise / damage-wise maybe lacking. But apart from that, everything looks obviously pretty good. So did any of these changes make you want to play another job even more? Did you see any abilities where you're like, okay, that makes me want to play that job?
Well, basically, the samurai thing just confirmed that my ult is staying as a samurai.
Because you're just going to be the one getting the dancer cards.
does.
Or the
it
dancer,
doesn't-
dancer
I'm just gonna chop-
buffs.
I'm just gonna continue to chop them up.
Just chop
That's
'em up.
how it works, dude. We just chop them up, man.
Yeah. The problem with me is that I was going into the expansion thinking, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to play Gunbreaker. It's a dude with a gun,
Uh-huh.
with a sword attached to it. Looks sick. Now, the problem is that all the tanks look cool. So, that's a real problem.
Flip a couple coins, dude.
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, and it seems like they're all going to do a crazy amount of damage. Their utility all seems to be unique in its own way, but still similar enough to whereas you can't.
It's like usable in every fight still.
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing you can
Yeah.
kind of argue in favor of either Gunbreaker and Warriors that they have more flexibility in terms of incoming just damage in general. They're probably slightly better for that, and they're also their sustain is going to be a lot better with Brutal Shell for Gunbreaker and Nascent Flash for Warrior. Whereas Paladin and Dark
As
Knight
well as
kind of.
regen, and they have a lot of things
Yeah.
actually.
Whereas Dark Knight's very good against magic, and Paladin has historically only been decent against physical. Although with Sheltron changed, it looks like Dark Knight's the only one that's kind of being pigeonholed into, just magic or just one type. But it may just do so much damage that it doesn't actually matter. So-
Yeah.
Which is what we.
Well, we have to. We won't
yeah.
see until.
But the likelihood of a fight where all the busters are physical, or all the damage coming in is physical, is highly unlikely, which means the Dark Knight's probably still going to do good. And with its ability
Yeah.
to block damage,
No, they're all like I think everything's playable in
Yeah.
real content. Still. Which is
Yeah.
Good.
in terms of just looking at any job in general, everything's still viable. I don't think I can see anything here on paper and say that anything is a C. Everything's a B or higher for sure. In terms of rank.
Even Red Mage.
It's still Res Mage, so it still gets a B rank. It's
I
still useful.
mean, I don't think mana's like a problem, so maybe Summoner can just do that, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like they have to swift cast their pet anymore.
Yeah. And what else did we see? So they got a bunch of different dungeons and stuff like that. This is kind of what the media tour looked like. Cool little setting here. I believe this was the one in San Francisco. So yeah, I think that's all we have
That's it.
for today.
We're done.
It looked like we went over 3 hours, I want to say.
Million years.
Yeah, it was a long time, but it's we had some troubles in the beginning, but we got through it.
3 hours, 3 days,
Through it in
months.
the end.
3 centuries.
So, I will let you do your shout outs first. So where can people find you, whether it's on 14 or
Thrifty Shark, Thrifty Shark, Thrifty Shark, Thrifty Shark, Thrifty Shark,
so
Like,
basically if somebody types in
really
Thrifty Shark, they'll find
anywhere?
you.
Thrifty Shark.
Everywhere Thrifty Shark.
Everywhere on the internet.
Yeah. Basically, where you can find me is anywhere where you would see a character named Pilot Flame. It's a very unique name. On Twitter and Twitch, Pilot Flame 226. And I'm trying to post content on 14 as well as other games on a daily basis. Especially with news like this, it makes it very easy to do so. So we're going to be looking for things in the future to do, and hopefully we can do podcasts once the expansion starts and get some coverage and bring Thrifty back on, and potentially some other viewers in the chat as well. So it's a good night from me, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Sleeper.